All right, welcome on one. Thanks so much for tuning on in. Everyone inside the Cookie Crush chat. This will be a shorter live stream. Well, I can't say a shorter live stream, but I'm going to limit my commentary during this live stream. This is an important topic dealing with Kobe Bryant. I know that I'm mainly focused on Umar Johnson, but really the focus here is not on Umar per se. I want to give you guys some examples of some of the things that Umar Johnson has said about the tragic death of Kobe Bryant. It's in the realm of conspiracy theory, and it also goes to exhibit just how disrespectful Umar Johnson is, especially he has such a level of disrespect for people who have passed away. And this is a serious problem with Umar Johnson. Part of this live stream will be about acknowledging. Oh, you know what? I'm getting some audio here. Hold on one second. I'm going to have to switch this over. The thing with Umar is that the level of disrespect that he has for people who have passed away is uncanny. I've never seen anything like this before. And I want to make sure that part of this live stream is just about acknowledging Kobe Bryant's life and also acknowledging his accomplishments as a basketball player. And then also Gigi, his daughter. And there were also other people who perished in the helicopter crash. The helicopter crash took place on January 26, 2020. And it still messes me up when I think about it. It's just something that I don't like to think about. And it hit me hard when it happened. And part of the reason why is because I followed Kobe Bryant when he, prior to him coming into the league. And then once he got into the league, I was in college the first time. I was at UC Irvine. And I was already a Los Angeles Laker fan. I still am a Los Angeles Laker fan. And I was a Laker fan going back to just prior to Kareem Abdul-Jabbar retiring. So it's been quite some time. There was a time where I was heavy into the Bulls, the Michael Jordan dynastic Bulls, but I always was and continue to be a Lakers fan. I'm from Southern California, San Diego, and we didn't have a basketball team at that time. The Clippers were down in San Diego for a while, but back then when I was watching NBA, we didn't have a basketball team. So the closest basketball team was the Los Angeles Lakers. I followed Kobe coming into the league. I remember when he had his first game as a Laker during the regular season. He wasn't a starter. Over the years, he built him up, and at a certain point, they started winning championships. He won 5 championships altogether. I would think in terms of all-stars, probably 18, maybe 19 all-star games, something like that. 5 NBA championships, 2 NBA Finals MVPs. I think he won 1 MVP, regular season MVP, and he has all kinds of other accolades too. And this is just some of the stuff off the top of my head. Kobe Bryant is also, he's in my top 10. I think I have him at 8 right now. And as I've thought about Kobe more and more over the years since he passed, he probably should go a little bit higher. I have Michael Jordan at 1. I have Kareem at 3. Who's at 2? That would be LeBron James. So Michael Jordan at 1, LeBron James at 2. I have Kareem at 3. I have Wilt Chamberlain at 4. I have he just slipped my mind. It's the Celtics. He won like 11 or a gang of championships. I can't even remember, 11 championships, something like that. Bill Russell. And then I go Magic or Kobe. So I'm going to put Kobe there now, and then Magic, and then I have Bird, and then I'm just going to put Shaq. I think that would be 10. But the truth is, Shaq, there's other people that I can put in that 10 spot too. But I'm going to put Shaq there because I'm a Lakers fan. And I remember they got together. They were losing. They weren't winning championships, and they started winning championships. Then they're winning 3 in a row. And then they lost the 4th time when they were playing against the Pistons. The team ended up breaking up. Shaq ended up leaving, and that broke my heart. I was upset. I was on Team Shaq with all that stuff. But Kobe still has always held a very special place in my heart as a basketball fan. And that's really the only sport that I play. So I'm bringing this all up to say that though Kobe Bryant had personal struggles too, and I don't want to mention that here simply out of respect for someone who's passed away. No one's perfect. He's made a lot of mistakes. Everyone knows that. But the thing is that he was there, and he was there for his children. And the thing is that he passed away with one of his daughters. And for Umar Johnson to do what he did yesterday, or was it the day before? I think it was the day before yesterday, and bringing up this, I don't understand it. Just the level of disrespect to bring it up, this conspiracy theory about Kobe Bryant being assassinated and these ridiculous reasons as to why. I just don't understand why he would do something like that. He's been taking shots at Kobe Bryant's widow. I don't know what the term is for someone who just does not care about other people, but there's a psychological term for it. And Umar is that. He's taking shots at a widow and trying to tell her what she should be doing with the money that she has, Kobe's money, blah, blah, blah. Umar, it really, I don't want to say it upset me, but it just disturbs me. And so here we are all these years later. He continues to take shots at this widow, and then he reposts. He brings this whole conspiracy theory up, and we're going to watch the video here today. And he brought it up yesterday, the day before, and then we're going to go back and watch the original videos that he posted. And it blows my mind that he would bring this up again after all of these years. I don't understand it at all. Now, yeah, he does have narcissistic personality disorder traits, but the thing is that there are people who simply don't have any respect for other human beings. You know, and narcissists do, though, in fact. But there's another term, too. But he does have some very strong narcissistic personality traits. Is he a full-blown narcissist? I couldn't make that assessment. I'm not some professional, but he does have narcissistic personality traits. I've studied Dr. Ramani's work, but there's other things about this guy. Yeah, sociopath. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe that's what it is. What's up, Barry? Thanks for being here. Thanks, East B. So that's what we're going to do. And we're not going to be here long in terms of me giving commentary. I just want to get to the Umar Johnson. I have to figure out what's going on with my, let me just check this real quick, if you guys don't mind, because for whatever reason, my Bluetooth settings, I'm actually hearing, oh, I probably, let me see. I think I know why. Hold on one second here. My Bluetooth audio is coming through, let's see, output device. This is why. Okay, it shouldn't be that. All right, let me see if this allows me to do this in, I don't know if it will. Oh, okay, yeah, it will let me do it. Okay, everyone, hold on one second. I may have to refresh this, though. Give me 1 second. Let's see what happens. Okay, I'm connected. What I need to do is change this to this, and that should correct it. Okay, you guys can still hear me? No, it's still doing it. Okay, I'll just have to, I don't know how I'm going to do this. No, I know how I can do this. Yeah, because I actually hear my voice as I'm speaking. But what I can do is I can play the videos, and then I can take this out when I do my commentary. I'll do it that way. All right, so let's get into it here. Here's the first video, and I'm not sure which one of these videos is the came first, but it's on the same day. So let's go with this one to start. Here we go. Yeah, how's the audio for you guys? Are you guys hearing echo? I got to figure this out. I'll let this play, and then while it's playing, I'll figure it out. Okay.
Peace and love, Black family. It's Dr. Umar Johnson. Good Garvey Day to you all. Brothers and sisters, today I want to do a brief video. I want to talk about the 5 dimensions. The 5 dimensions. The 5 dimensions of Black revolutionary life. The 5 dimensions of the revolutionary personality, the 5 dimensions of the progressive African psyche. That's what I want to talk about today. The 5 dimensions, because I think we need to get back to the 5 dimensions, brothers and sisters. We need to get on back to the basics. So today, I want us to get back to the basics. Today, I want us to get back to the basics, brothers and sisters. Let's get back to the basics. And when I say we need to get back to the basics, I'm talking about the fact that we're wasting too much time on unnecessary and irrelevant conversation, debates, discussions, and other nonsense. When you put your truth out to the world, if the world does not accept your truth, that's all right. One of the traits of a psychologically healthy individual is that you are at peace with the fact that others do not agree with you. You must establish yourself completely in self-acceptance and self-referral. You must establish yourself completely in self-acceptance and self-referral. You should never need the approval of other people.
Okay, yeah, I corrected the issue on my side here. I'm thinking this is the second video. Let me go. Let's play this other one. Let's see, because it should be in sequence. And I think this is the second video, but let me play this, and we should be able to figure it out just by listening to this other video. Which one should be coming first? Here's the other one right here. Yeah, he's all over the place. Also, look at Umar's disposition and his physical appearance. He's disheveled. Probably been turning the heat down. He's at a park. Anyone remember this in the chat room? Hit the one. I mean, this actually was, it kind of went semi-viral because people were talking about how insane he sounded, and he looks like he just would turn the heat down. Okay, yeah. I'm sure most of you guys remember this.
Peace and love, black families. The Prince of Pan Africanism, King Kong Conscious, coming to you live from the Frederick Douglass Marcus Garvey RBG International Leadership Academy in Wilmington, Delaware. Rest in peace to my Philadelphia brother, Kobe Bryant. Rest in peace to my Philadelphia brother, Kobe Bryant. Rest in peace to my Philadelphia brother, Kobe Bryant, who I've always considered the greatest one to lace up those basketball shoes and walk on that court. I've been saying that. Kobe.
Yeah, and I have to just say, he only says that because Kobe Bryant went to Lower Merion, and I believe that's in Philadelphia. He recently said that the greatest power forward of all time was Rasheed Wallace, but I think that's because either he played in Philadelphia or he's from Philadelphia. I can look it up right now. And Rasheed Wallace was one of my favorite basketball players growing up, but no, he's not even close. He's probably not even in the top 10. I can come up with 10 power forwards that would put him outside of the top 10. It maybe argue that he's at the 10 spot, but he's the greatest? No. So that's why he's saying that Kobe is the greatest, but that's simply not true. Okay. I wouldn't even put Kobe, and no disrespect. I was a Kobe fan, still a Kobe fan. And part of the show is to just acknowledge Kobe for his greatness, and then to illuminate the fact that Umar Johnson, for him to be coming up with these conspiracy theories and then be bringing it back up all these years later, that in and of itself speaks to Umar and his character. But Rasheed Wallace, let's see, he went to University of North Carolina, but I think he was born. Yeah, he was born in Philadelphia. That's what it was. So that's why Umar does that. He's from Philadelphia, so that's why he said Rasheed Wallace was the greatest power forward of all time. Then he said I could probably argue that Tim Duncan, but he's throwing it up there to Rasheed Wallace. That's not the case at all. Okay, so let me do this too. I forgot to. This is what Umar posted yesterday. Check this out.
I started going out in like 19.
Popular in China. Why are you so popular in China?
I don't know. I mean, I've been going to China for years now. I started going out in like 1998.
When we got to China, it wasn't even close. It was Kobe, Kobe, Kobe.
Who's your favorite?
Kobe.
Oh, Kobe Bryant.
Kobe is the best.
Kobe's celebrity was like Michael Jackson about to go on tour back in the day. I mean, a girl fainted right in front of us trying to get to Kobe.
It's a bit overwhelming and a little bit embarrassing, to be honest with you. I'm just trying to blend in and, duck my head down as I'm just, want to be part of the mix. But nonetheless, it's extremely special.
It was thousands of fans waiting at the hotel. But it
couldn't even get close to the hotel, but they were just waiting to take pictures of our bus because they knew Kobe Bryant was on the bus.
Okay. So Umar, he plays that video on his Instagram page, but let me read what he wrote there. He says, this is why he had to be stopped. The most popular athlete in the world, most populous country, who was planning his own basketball league to be headquartered in China, complete with his own sneaker line, would have spelled disaster for the NBA and Nike. And the truth is that no, it would not have spelled disaster for the NBA or for Nike for that matter. But this is Umar yesterday or the day before yesterday, repositioning himself and then reasserting this conspiracy theory about Kobe Bryant, that he had to be stopped. And this is why I wanted to do this live stream, just to illustrate how ridiculous this all is. And for the life of me, I don't understand why Umar decided to bring this back up yesterday. It's just crazy. All right. Okay. Let's go back. I think we're going to go. Let's go with this video because I think this is the first one. Here we go.
Is the greatest one to ever do it. MJ was a master, but he did not have the offensive repertoire of a Kobe Bryant.
You got to be kidding me. Kobe Bryant modeled his game after Michael Jordan. What are you talking about? It's ridiculous. Someone also said, yeah, he is. He's the greatest power forward of all time. Rasheed Wallace is not in that conversation. And yes, he was a beast. He was one of my favorite players. He used to get technicals all the time. I was like, yeah, he looked like one of my, he passed away. He was murdered, but he was like a little brother to me. And Rasheed Wallace reminded me of him. How's it going, Rachel? All right, here we go.
In peace to him, to his daughter Gigi, my condolences to his wife Vanessa and his other children and family. Yes, indeed. I understand he didn't marry an African woman. Yes, that was not within alignment with our political platform.
What political platform? Umar, you don't have a political platform. You're homeless right now. What are you talking about? And it doesn't matter who's he's married to. Anyway.
As revolutionary Pan Africanist, but at the end of the day, that was a woman who lost her husband and her oldest daughter.
And you know what's crazy? Umar's been taking shots at Vanessa. What kind of man does that? But he's been taking shots at Vanessa Williams for the last 3 years now. At least 3 years. What kind of man?
That was a mother who lost her husband and her oldest daughter. So again, even though she was not a sister, she was still a woman and a mother, and I respect.
Yeah, and this clown has been condemning her for like 3 years now. It's ridiculous. He's done this to other people too, because I remember there was this. I don't think she's actually competing right now. Naomi Osaka, I think that's her name. And Umar went on the Breakfast Club and just disparaged her really, really bad. And then come to find out she was suffering from mental health issues, and she actually had to take a step back from sports. And she was one of the best out there. I don't even know if she's in competition right now, but I remember back then. But see, I would not be surprised if she did not hear about Umar's comments about her, and she was young. So for him to be getting up here talking all this mess and taking shots at women, it's just crazy to me. And they ain't done nothing to him. In the case of Vanessa Bryant, she's a widow. She lost her husband and her daughter. I believe it's her youngest daughter too, by the way. And then Umar's been taking shots at her for the last 3 years. It's crazy.
Her and I honor her, and my heart and love go out to Vanessa.
Okay, I thought she was the youngest. Okay, so I'll stand corrected. Gigi was the oldest daughter. Okay, thank you for that correction. I appreciate it.
And those other 3 beautiful little girls. Shout out to Kobe's family and friends, and I'll also send out
Vanessa, I apologize. I didn't mean to say that. Did I say? Because I did that before. Vanessa Bryant. Just goes to show you. I had a little crush on Vanessa Williams back in the day, but that's neither here nor there. Okay. Oh, someone said it's her second daughter. Okay. Rest in peace to Gigi. Here we go.
To the family of the other 8 victims who perished on that helicopter yesterday. When I got the word, I was in Maryland. It blew my mind. One of my brothers from Rochester, New York sent me the text. I could not believe it. And I want to say this. I don't judge people, but when my time comes to leave this earth, please don't get on the internet and give out a fake condolence.
See how he has to make it about himself? This is the narcissism. I've seen him do this a lot. Remember we were watching the video of the Breonna Taylor when he lost his voice? And at the end, what does he do? He makes it all about him. He starts talking about, I'm related to Freddie. He goes down this whole fake lineage. Umar does this every single time. Someone said, Umar didn't watch basketball, but Rashid is definitely top 20 all time. Not top 20 basketball player. Yeah, I would say top 20 power forward. He may even fit in the top 15, maybe. But Umar stated that he was the greatest power forward of all time. What about Kevin Garnett? I said, what are you talking about? Because it could be argued Kevin Garnett is number 2. It could be argued. What about Karl Malone? I would put Dennis Rodman ahead of who were we just talking about? I forgot who we were talking about. Anyway, I would because Dennis Rodman won all these championships, one of the greatest defensive power forwards of all time, one of the greatest rebounders of all time. Rasheed Wallace, I will put him ahead of Rasheed Wallace. There's so many other people I can think of. Charles Barkley. Anyway, let's go.
If you don't feel it from the heart, don't give me no condolences. And I'm only saying that because I'm seeing some of these celebrities do Instagram lives and videos and interviews, and they're expressing condolence at Kobe's loss, or our loss of Kobe, the loss of his life, but it's not sincere. Don't make yourself cry, bruh. If you not crying, don't make yourself cry. Not everybody cries when they go through hurt. Some people, it takes a while because the grieving process is a very intricate process. It's complicated. You go through shock, you go through resentment, you go through bargaining, you go through.
He all over the place. He ain't even in the right order. I don't mean to laugh, but he don't know what he's talking about. He's supposed to be a psychologist. He's doing them all in different orders. Then after that, you go through, I don't know.
Through acceptance, you go through resolution. Not everybody grieves the same way. And I'm not going to say that you're not sorry for Kobe losing his life, but don't get on TV and force yourself to cry. Don't get on TV and wipe your eyes like you crying and you not. I'm just seeing a lot of fake celebrity condolences. That's all I'm saying. I'm not judging nobody. I'm not calling no names, but half the shit I'm seeing is fake. I'm seeing people fake act like they gave a damn, because at the end of the day, a lot of people was envious of Kobe Bryant. They was jealous of Kobe because Kobe was great and he knew it. And a lot of people got a problem with people who know that.
I mean, do you guys think that really that Umar Johnson's family deals with him like consistently? I don't think so. You know, they have an event and they invite him. I highly doubt it. Anyone think that he does? That they do? I don't think so at all. Charles Barkley, Kevin McHale was awesome. I think he's underrated too, in point of fact. Kevin McHale, Kevin Garnett, Tim Duncan, Karl Malone. Yeah, Dirk Nowitzki is another one. He might be top 5. Paul Gasol. Yeah, Paul Gasol was great too. Anthony Davis. Yeah, I would take Anthony Davis over Rasheed Wallace. There's a long list of yeah, I know. But Umar, he's so ridiculous. Just because they from Philly. Yeah, I really don't think that his family members deal with him, and that if they had a function, they would invite him, unless it's a funeral. But it's not like people invite that there's an invitation for that, you know. Tim Duncan, Karl Malone, Rodman, Garnett, Barkley, McHale, Nowitzki, and yeah. Now Amari Stoudemire, it probably could be argued right there. East B, there probably could be an argument for Amari and replacing Amari with Ben Wallace. Not Ben Wallace. Rasheed Wallace. They were both on the same team when they won the championship. But yeah, it could be argued Amari was better than him too. I was a Amari fan when he was on the Phoenix Suns. They had a great team back then. Sean Marion and Steve Nash. They had a really good team. Barboza. Remember Barboza was getting in fights with Kobe. Anyway, let's go.
Hey, great. I didn't know my brother was born August the 23rd. I'm August the 21st. I didn't know Kobe was only 2 days away.
See, he has to make it about himself every single time.
Away from the Prince of Pan Africanism. We're separated by August the 22nd. And depending on what zodiac system you use, August 22nd is Leo, last day, or August 22nd is Virgo, last day. I'm a Leo on the Virgo cusp. Kobe was a Virgo on the Leo cusp. Now I can see that. Now I can understand.
I forgot about Chris Webber. You're right about that. Chris Bosh, it could be argued though there too. I think with Chris Bosh, with Chris Webber, boy, he was one of, I'm gonna say he was one of my favorite players. But when he was with the Sacramento Kings, yeah.
And him a whole lot better knowing that we only 48 hours apart, although we're separated by 4 years.
What in the world did this guy just say?
Well, only 48 hours apart.
We're 48 hours apart.
Although we're separated by 4 years.
But you're separated by 4 years. What is that supposed to mean? This guy. He has to make everything about himself. That's why he goes to the cemeteries. I haven't seen him do a cemetery video in a while. because we used to call him out. Maybe he decided, let me stop going to the cemetery because of Quick Cross Chat. But y'all don't think that that's strange, that that's odd for someone to go arbitrarily to the cemetery and to the grave sites of people who aren't related to him. They don't know him. They didn't know him. They don't want to know him. And then you live stream. That's bizarre behavior. People used to say a long time ago, because someone brought it up that he's a recluse, and it's true. I think Umar feels more comfortable at a grave site than he would feel at a social gathering. And let me be clear with people. I wouldn't say that I'm a recluse, but I like being by myself, and I like quiet. You know, I know I get up here and I'll be running my mouth, but most of the time I'm real quiet. I just sit and I like to observe things, and then I may say something here or there, but I don't be running my mouth like I run on for the Good Chris Chat. I do this for y'all. But you ain't gonna see me at no gravesite live streaming. When I get a coffin back here, it kind of looked like if, you know, back in the day, they used to have the funeral, they had a coffin in the house. People come to the house for the viewing. Got the flowers all set up already. Flowers are on clearance right now, and plants, because, you know, the season, it's at least out here. So I've been going crazy. I need to stop buying them. My wife said, you're a, what did he say? You're a plant dad. It's true. I'll be taking care of them. I'll be talking to them, everything. Okay. Yeah, I'm a Leo, birthday tomorrow. Okay. And all right, Lewis, what's up? Says the NBA and Father David. If you guys did not see the series, it's a 3-part series. Father David and Umar had a falling out, and Umar will not be going back on. I guarantee he ain't gonna go back on to Father David's show ever again. Mark my words, it was something to behold. There was a call that called in and went in on Umar. So make sure you check that out inside the archive. Thank you, Lewis Luck. Okay, let's go.
I never met Kobe in the flesh. Yes. I never met Kobe in the flesh. I remember when I first started my Pan African Boy Scout program in Philadelphia on Cecil B. Moore.
Didn't I tell you all about this? I forgot that this was one of the videos where he mentioned this. He's only mentioned it a few times. The Boy Scouts program, and he was collecting money for that. This is why when Umar says that I just started collecting donations in April of 2014, he's lying about that. Got him. I forgot that was in this video. I'm gonna remember it now, though. I'll definitely remember it now. Let's listen to that again.
Virgo on the Leo cusp. Now I can see that. Now I can understand him a whole lot better, knowing that we only 48 hours apart, although we're separated by 4 years. I never met Kobe in the flesh. I remember when I first started my Pan African Boy Scout program in Philadelphia on Cecil B. Moore Avenue after I resigned as Minister of Education for Marcus Garvey's youth.
See, that would have been in 2005. See? 2005. He said he conceptualized FDMG in 2005. So this Boy Scouts program was probably part of this FDMG school scam thing. And he was collecting money for that.
UNIA, I started my Pan African Boy Scout program, and we would go to the Sixers game on a regular basis. And the closest I got to Cole was at a Sixers game. He was out there warming up, and we was just down there watching it. We didn't have a conversation with the brother or nothing like that, but that was the closest that we got to Cole. I did work at the Lower Marion High School. Kobe Bryant.
I remember I looked this up and I couldn't find any record. I'm about to go look it up again. I'm gonna go look it up again because maybe the internet's updated. Okay, but he said Lower Marion, and maybe he was. We're going to find out.
Bryant's alma mater. I was an expert. I did work at the Lower Marion High School. Kobe Bryant's alma mater. I was an expert certified school psychologist on a class action lawsuit against the Lower Marion School District.
Yeah, this is true. This is true. And there's paperwork on this. And during that time, he was parading around like he had a PhD, when in point of fact, he didn't. And in the court paperwork, they address him as Dr. Umar Johnson. But then if you go and look at when that case took place, this is what I'm saying. Umar, he was a scammer back then, too. When that case took place, go look at the date when that case took place and then go look at when he got his PhD. He didn't have a PhD back then, but he was parading around. And part of the reason why was because he wanted, when he was getting employed back then, because he don't work for the last decade. But when he was employable, I'll say it that way, he wanted to get PhD level money. So he was misrepresenting his degrees and credentials so that they would pay him more. And with someone like Umar, I would not be surprised if he had fake PhDs, you know, on paper that he had printed or something like that. I would not be surprised at all. I do know this for certain though, that back then he did not have a PhD. Go look at the record, court record. You guys can find it. Past day stuff. And see, that's part of the reason why he ended up getting fired, because he was misdiagnosing, and it's not even that's the inappropriate word, because there's another term if you guys look at the paperwork, but these children were given IEPs, and then he would come in and go against those IEPs. But then the idea was for him that he was going to get paid. You're going to get paid more because you're double dipping now. You see, and then it would go to court. I mean, it was a big old, whole big old thing. And then the litigation that took place. In one case that I know about, the little girl, the family got paid out. I don't know how much because it was undisclosed. But see, with Umar's mind as a scammer, he could say, "Hey, listen, maybe we can I'll go ahead and give you a different assessment, and then we'll go ahead and sue the school system." That's the kind of scam and shit he was doing back then. And guess what? Back then he was claiming to be a PhD, that he had a PhD, a doctor. He was a doctor, but he didn't. You guys can look at it and cross-reference when he got his PhD and when that court case came up. See? This guy, he was a scammer back then. See? And this is the reason why, if you guys go and you look into his first book, he was talking specifically about these issues. See, in essence, as a scammer running these types of scams on the school system, and that's why they ended up firing him. They security came, and I know firsthand account from someone who was there. Security came. They had a box, had him put all his stuff inside the box and walked him out to the parking lot. Umar never told that story. And see, at a certain point, because he had done all this dirt, he's unemployable. Who's going to employ him? No one's going to employ him. He's been, and since that time, he hasn't had a job. That was a compared charter school. See? His reputation precedes him. In Philadelphia, if he tried to get a job now, no one would hire him. No way. Plus, how he be acting online, there's no way. But the point that I want to make here is that he's mentioning that now, but he's not mentioning what came after that. And he's not mentioning that back then he was claiming to be a doctor and that he had a PhD, but the record will show that no, he did not have a PhD at that time. He's a scammer. He's always been a scammer. Chavis, how's it going? Chavis, I ain't seen you in a minute. Says, I can see why he hangs out at graveyards. He has to bury his credibility. Yeah. I think part of his him hanging out at graveyards is that it probably makes him feel more comfortable. At least he's not in the social setting per se. But the other thing is that he wants to attach himself to these people who have already passed away. You see, the same thing with the Frederick Douglass situation, Chavis. That's all Umar Johnson trying to attach himself to Frederick Douglass to make. And really, that goes back to his father lying to him. Did you guys know? I saw the interview, and I wish I had archived it, and I may have, but Umar explained how his father told him that they were descendants of Frederick Douglass when he was in the 5th grade. Anyone know this? I don't know if Black Anonymous is still, you may know this, but the 5th grade. Okay, if you're a descendant of Frederick Douglass, why do you wait for your child to be in the 5th grade to tell them that they're a descendant of Frederick Douglass? Because it was a lie. That's why. And come to find out, decades later, Umar, the true lineage of Frederick Douglass lineage, and I apologize there. My son, he making something. What you making, son? Oh, okay. He just woke up. I said, boy, you got to go back to school. You got to get back on the schedule. Anyway, what was I saying? I forgot what I was talking about. What was I talking about, son? Were you listening? Yeah, thank you, son. Here, his voice getting deep. This voice gonna be deeper than mine. He's gonna be way taller than me too. He got big feet. So Umar tries to attach himself to Frederick Douglass. And anyway, what ended up happening is Frederick Douglass' family, they came out and they kept telling Umar to stop using Frederick Douglass' name to for clout and to get money out of people, because that's FDMG is Frederick Douglass Marcus Garvey Academy. And at a certain point, they issued a public statement. I have all the documents for that. They have a foundation and all that stuff. That recently, I think it was about 2 years ago, they did a family video, and they have the true descendants of Frederick Douglass, and then younger people, older people. Umar and his daddy ain't in that because they're not descendants. So inevitably, what ends up happening is that Umar Johnson's father, Jamal, he goes and takes a DNA test, and it comes back conclusively that there's no DNA connection. There's no genetic connection between two. They're not related at all. And he does the video, and shortly after that, he takes it down. But he also issued a statement on his Facebook page, and I have the receipts for that. I can pull it up and show you. And he admits that they're not descendants of Frederick Douglass. But Chavis, the point that I'm making is that that's why Umar, he'll go to grave sites. This is one of the reasons why he'll go to grave sites to attach himself to these dead people. Where in point of fact, there is no attachment. There is no connection to them. But through the eyes of everyone who's looking in, they say, oh, he's a descendant of Frederick Douglass or Wilmot Blythe, and there are all these different people that he's always mentioning. And he's a charlatan. One thing, yeah, his credibility is buried somewhere. Thanks, Chavis. Hope you've been doing all right. I ain't seen you in a minute. And then Seth, how's it going to say, says Umar always used European and Chinese zodiac systems. He doesn't know Egyptian or any other African constellations. And Umar he does not speak any African language. No, he does not. And, you know, you bring up a good point. I haven't thought about this. It just never crossed my mind. But Umar, I've never heard him talk about, at length, at least, like the Kemetic sciences. I mean, I studied that for some time, you know, Asar, Aset, Heru, etc. And then in reference to zodiac, yeah, he references European, and I've heard him reference the Chinese. He said something about the year of the rat one time. So what are you talking about? But I've never heard him mention any type of African zodiac system or anything like that. The only thing I've heard him speak about from Africa, and I'm not saying that he's never spoken about Kemet. That's not what I'm saying. But that hasn't been like a main point of his conversation. His main point has been what he thinks is Pan-Africanism. Okay, but with Umar, the only thing that comes close to him really having any connection to African or African culture would be Ifa. That's it. But other than that, he doesn't speak an African tongue or African language, you know, or a dialect, any of that stuff. And I guess we could say, Seth, that he dresses in dashiki sometimes, but anybody could do that. There's nothing African about Umar. Let's go here real quick, Seth. There's nothing African about Umar. And that's a broad statement too, because in Africa, you got all types of variables and cultural things, cultural aspects or things to consider. You got different dialects. You got different people eating different types of food. Africa is huge. You can fit United States inside there easily. They have plenty of space left over. If you cut it up, you might be able to put 2 United States up in there. See, but Umar wants to make it like a monolith. But the truth is that in terms of Africa, there's nothing African about Umar. He's just someone from Philadelphia who's a 2-bit hustler, and he'll dress the part and he'll talk Ifa talk here and there. But ultimately, he's just a street dude. And I'm not saying a street dude in terms of someone who's like a thug, because there ain't nothing thuggish about him. He's a marshmallow. He wanted people that get beat up, you know, and get bullied and beat up in them streets. He's a 2-bit hustler, though. That's what he is. You see? And so if people really look at Umar Johnson, there is nothing, quote unquote, African about him. That's the truth. Yeah, I never thought about that. He doesn't know any African languages. You know, when he talks about the zodiac, it's always in reference to European zodiac. It's very true. But it just goes to show you, he's like he's an actor. That's what he is. He'll play the part. That's why he'll dress in certain ways for certain things. You know, he'll have a dashiki one, and then he don't do it these days, but he used to wear suits when he was a quote unquote wanted to be a professional. And then there's times he has on a Philly cap. Then there's times he have on that beanie. That's when he go King Kong on people. That's when he want to be a fake thug with the fake phone calls. Okay, we get sidetracked. Thanks, Seth, for the super chat. Lewis Suck also says the only one Umar might really be a descendant of is King Kong. They both trespass in and on buildings and like Now, let's not say, well, he does trespass. We do know that. But I'm not going to say that he likes nobody. I think he desires. That's what I think. I think he secretly desires that. And part of his whole thing about the snow bunny crisis is his way of trying to compensate for that. But a man is a man. And if you're a man and you're attracted to women, their skin color is not going to matter too much. Okay. But that's Umar. Okay. Well, Umar's really he's painted himself into a very small box with a lot of his rhetoric. And there's things that he probably wishes that he could do, but he can't do because it would be such a blatant contradiction to his message. I mean, there's already plenty of contradictions, but this one piece about relationships, interracial relationships, this is something that Umar, he's painted himself in a very, very deep and insurmountable box. There's no way that he's going to be able to get up out of that, you know? But at the end of the day, if Umar had a chance to take a shot, he would take a shot. No doubt about it. And keep it private. He probably already has. Okay. All right. Thanks, Lewis. Can you imagine King Kong up there with them trap bandos? He tried to climb up it. He tried to climb up it. Lou was looking at it, and just everything started falling down. Okay. Kofi says, so how do we stop him? Jail therapy beat him up. No. Violence is not the answer. Therapy would have to be something that Umar pursues. He would have to do that himself. And with narcissists, it's very difficult. In fact, Dr. Ramani talks about that people with narcissistic personality disorder or certain traits, because it doesn't have to be a full-blown narcissist, that they don't even realize that they're not self-aware. Most are not. The vast majority are not self-aware. In fact, I think she argued that none of them are self-aware. And it could be, and I've actually heard other people say that, yeah, there may be a very small percentage that may be self-aware and they recognize that they are a narcissist. But the point is that if you don't know that you have a problem, you're not going to go to get therapy. And Umar is the type of person that you can, who can speak to Umar and tell him what to do? No one can, because he thinks he knows everything. He thinks he's omnipotent. You know, he thinks that no one can tell him anything and that he knows everything. And people like that, how are you going to tell him to go to therapy? See, that would have to be Umar making that decision, but he's so deep into this narcissism that he's not even self-aware. See, one of the issues with narcissists is that they think that they're all so great, but the truth is that they're just, they're fragile human beings. They're frail and fragile. And the idea that they need to go get some therapy, that's the last thing on their mind, because they don't think that there's anything wrong. Well, that's Umar. Okay? Would jail stop Umar? Well, the thing is that even if Umar went to jail and then he got out for whatever reason, he went to jail and then he got out, he would return right back to what he's been doing, because this is the life that this is the life that he knows, is to run scams and schemes on people. Like I said, back in the day, he was claiming to have a doctorate, and he perjured himself before the court. He's been scamming people for a long time. That's Umar. So I don't even know if jail would be the answer for Umar. I think therapy will probably be the better solution, but I don't see him ever being humble enough to say, hey, wait a minute, I got some serious issues and I need to go get some professional help. He thinks that he's the Superman. He's the one that's supposed to be helping everybody else. No. He needs to help more than anybody else. Okay. All right. Thank you for the super chat, Kofi. I appreciate it. Okay, let's get back to it. Here we go.
School psychologist on a class action lawsuit against the Lower Merion School District for systematically putting black kids in special ed who did not need special ed. So I worked in Lower Merion High School. I was familiar with a lot of the teachers and people in the community who knew Kobe. I got a lot of friends who knew Kobe. And even though he was from Lower Merion, that's right across the street from Philadelphia, he was a Philly man, and I'm just so sorry for what happened to Kobe. And I'm going to keep it real. This was not no accident. You out your damn mind if you think this was an accident. Kobe Bryant's personal helicopter, not a commercial plane, personal helicopter. Kobe Bryant's personal helicopter goes down during a routine 15, 20-minute flight. A flight he'd been making for 25 years, and it goes down. And they still don't have all the answers. First they said 4 people died. Then it was 5 people died. Then it was 9 people died. And then they said it was a fire on board the helicopter. Then they said it was a fire beneath the helicopter. And now this morning, they're trying to blame it on the fog. They say it was too foggy for the pilot to take the helicopter, but he asked for special permission. He asked for special permission to take the helicopter anyway. If you see the video of the crash, which is a very heart-wrenching video to watch, I only saw it once. I don't even want to see it again. But when you see that video, fog had nothing to do with that accident. Fog had nothing to do with that accident. That sky was clear enough for him to fly. And
that's not true at all. I mean, there's people who actually did videos like I used to watch Mentor Pilot, those types of shows, and they've done videos to talk about this, that there's the pilot should not have been actually flying the plane in that level of fog. There were fog warnings and everything, but Umar, he has to turn into a conspiracy theory.
All of a sudden, you see the propeller go out. You saw what the hell is Kobe Bryant's propeller going out?
Exactly. The video he talking about ain't had nothing to do with nothing. There is no video footage. Fun fact, the United States can fit, 3 United States can fit inside Africa. Thank you very much. Africa's huge. It's a huge continent. It's the biggest one ever. Ever. I'm just playing. You see how ridiculous this is? Dude, Umar's a trip.
For him to fly. And all of a sudden, you see the propeller go out. You saw what the hell is Kobe Bryant's propeller going out on his helicopter? Why did the propeller go out on Kobe Bryant's helicopter? When is the last time you saw a propeller go out on a helicopter? I've been in helicopters. I've been on helicopters. I've been on helicopters. When is the last time you saw the propeller go out on a helicopter? And the reason they sabotaged the helicopter, the propeller, is because when you get on a plane, and I'm not a pilot, but I have pilots as friends, you do all your.
And he's mixing and matching. A plane is not a helicopter. That would be an airplane. What are you talking about? He wasn't on an airplane. He was not on a plane. He was on a helicopter. Even the other terminology, what did he say? A propeller or something like that? This guy. By the way, Umar did the reevaluation of Salima in 2010. He didn't have a PhD in 2010. If memory serves me right now, I could be wrong. I would have to go back and look at it, but I thought I went back and did and re-researched this. But in the court documents in the records, they referred to him as Dr. Umar. He wasn't no doctor in 2010. Let me go find out. Yeah, he graduated allegedly in 2012 from the Philadelphia College of Osteopathic Medicine. 2 years later. Got such a scammer. Yeah, he said he got piloted as friend. That's his evidence. You know, I'm not a pilot, but I have pilots as friends. Okay.
And the reason they sabotaged the helicopter, the propeller, is because when you get on a plane, and I'm not a pilot, but I have pilots as friends, you do all your system checks. You check all the systems. So
yeah, but the crash was not a systems check issue. There were no malfunctions. That wasn't the issue. It was pilot error.
If you want to sabotage an aircraft.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I meant to say, Barry. It's a rotor. Umar, he up here talking. I can't remember what he called. He all over the place.
You sabotage the propeller because that's the one place you don't check. You don't get on top of the helicopter and check the propeller. You don't get on top of the helicopter and check the propeller. And here's the other thing. If the fog was the reason for the crash, why didn't he crash into the mountains? Why didn't he crash into any of the physical structures? They didn't.
He crashed into a hillside, Umar. What are you talking about? You see how ridiculous this is? And if you guys are tuning in a little bit, I didn't even promote this show. Let me go promote it. If you guys don't know, this guy, boy. Umar is going off of a video that appeared online, and it was a helicopter that crashed someplace like in Afghanistan. Someone correct me inside of the chat room. I thought it was like in the hills of Afghanistan. It's an old grainy video, and it's an old helicopter from like the 1970s or some shit. I said, what kind of scholar? What? That's why he's talking like this. There's no video footage of it. And the helicopter crashed. Kobe Bryant, the helicopter he was flying in, rest in peace, Kobe Bryant and everyone else who passed. The helicopter that crashed, it crashed into a hillside. It's in Los Angeles, and I know that I can't say I know there, but I've driven past that area. I'm from Southern California. I've driven past that area. There's the hills, and there's a heavy fog, and they shouldn't have been flying. They should not have been flying, and they didn't have the technology inside the helicopter, which they should have. It should be mandatory, in my opinion, for where they can sense where the ground is at. You know, and you can actually, you know, there's I can't remember what it's called right now, but that was one of the things that was brought up in the final report. Was they didn't have the technology, but that's not a systems check issue. There was no, it wasn't as if there was a malfunction. No, it was pilot error. That's what took place. And the pilot error was directly related to the heavy fog that was in that area. I thought it was a different plane. I didn't know it was a Black Hawk, so it's not that old. I said it's from the 1970s. The video that he was showing, or that someone, I think, yeah, he did. I thought he posted on his Instagram, but he took it off afterwards. I think so. It was such a long time ago. But I saw the video he was referring to, and no, I thought it was in Afghanistan. I can't remember if it was a Black Hawk, but if you say it was a Black Hawk, I'll take your word for it. I thought it was an old helicopter. Yeah, according to Umar, yeah, they have propellers. That's how helicopters are propelled. But with the, that's not how that works at all. Anyway, let's keep going.
Didn't say that. They didn't say that they crashed into a mountain or crashed into the physical structure. They crashed on the ground. They crashed on the ground. The fog was not the reason for the crash. The fog. You know how many times you took an airplane in the fog? You know how many flights I've been in the fog? Helicopters in the fog. I took helicopters in Africa in the fog. In Africa, in Nigeria, in the
So what? What does that have to do with anything?
Fog on a helicopter. They did not crash because of the fog. That was an expert pilot.
Someone said it was in Somalia.
That was an expert pilot. Kobe was sabotaged. Not to mention.
Yeah. In African areas is different. It's very different. We have to be clear about that.
Not to mention, Kobe Bryant was engaged in a legal battle with a big pharmaceutical company over the use of the name Black Mamba. Kobe Bryant was engaged in a legal battle with a very powerful pharmaceutical company over the use of the name Black Mamba. Kobe Bryant was engaged in a legal battle with a pharmaceutical company over the use of the name Black Mamba. You understand me?
Yeah, I have to say this. Umar, with his conspiracy theories, he's connecting dots that don't exist, and I've been there myself. Okay, I've been there myself. But for him to do this with this is just utterly ridiculous. And then for him to represent it yesterday on his Instagram pages is just I just don't understand why he would do something like that. I don't understand it.
Radar can see through the fog. Thank you, sister.
Yeah, but the helicopter did not have that technology. It's ground warning device. It has a very specific a name for it, because the report showed that, and professionals who've done videos on YouTube to talk about this. I don't know. I don't think Mentor Pilot did one. Maybe I think he did talk about it, but there's one guy that did one, and they talked about that technology was not present, and that was part of the problem.
Radar can see through the fog. They didn't crash because of no damn fog, and it wasn't no wind. The propeller was sabotaged. Let me say it again. The propeller was sabotaged.
And from what I remember, the video that he's referring to, and I was trying to find it, but I can't find it. It was either a plane crash. I thought it was in Afghanistan. You see that while the helicopter, it's like over this ravine, and it's off into the distance, and you see there is a problem with the propeller, with the rotor. Here now, Umar got me miseducated and talking crazy, but there's an issue with it, and that's what he's referring to here. But that has nothing to do, absolutely nothing to do, with what took place when the helicopter crashed on January 26th of 2020 with Kobe Bryant and Gigi and other people on board, where they perished. Rest in peace.
Say it again. The propeller was sabotaged. And what else do we know about Illuminati, Colluminati, Bilderbergs, Rothschilds, CFR,
Trilateral Commission, Council on Foreign Relations. I already done been through all this. So this guy, that's why I can't, because I've been there myself. But the point is, for him to bring this back up yesterday on his Instagram page is crazy.
Trilaterals. What do we know about the white secret societies that run the world? Whenever they commit,
Skull and Bones. Yeah, I know.
A murder of a significant icon or personality, they always do it at a time where it is symbolic, ritualistically symbolic, politically symbolic, historically symbolic. LeBron James passed Kobe in Kobe's hometown of Philadelphia. LeBron James passed Kobe in Kobe's hometown of Philadelphia. En route to a loss to the Sixers, the Lakers lost the game, but LeBron replaced Kobe as the third highest scorer in NBA history. Ain't no coincidences. That's how they play.
So because LeBron James passed Kobe Bryant on the all-time NBA scoring list, they decided to sabotage the helicopter so that the plane would crash, the helicopter would crash, and Kobe Bryant would perish. Yeah, I've been there. I have a conspiracy theory archive on my website. I mean, I wasted. I don't even want to say it that way, but it was when I think about it in retrospect. Like if I was my daddy back then, I would have slapped the shit out of myself. That sounds crazy, but I would have said, "Mother, boy." And I was so deep into that, and I got so sidetracked on life. I was already behind, but that put me way behind the 8 ball, and my family suffered because of it. One of my biggest regrets. So I understand where Umar is coming from because I've been there, but the difference is that he's still bringing this shit up these days. This fake, phony Kobe Bryant conspiracy theory that he was assassinated, and now he's saying because he passed LeBron or LeBron passed him. Well, if that's the case, shit. Well, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar is still alive. Y'all understand what I'm saying? Shit, if that's the case, everyone who was on the scoring list or whoever scored a basket, they would be murdered too because he passed everybody. He's kind of shit. Does anybody understand what I'm saying here? Maybe I'm tripping. Let me reassess. Let me rethink this real quick. So if Kobe Bryant was murdered because LeBron James passed him up on the all-time scoring list, then why is it that everyone else that Kobe Bryant passed on the scoring list that weren't assassinated in a helicopter crash? And that would be all NBA players that have ever scored a basket in the NBA, because LeBron James is the all-time leading scorer. Michael Jordan's still alive. Shaq's still alive. Dirk Nowitzki's still alive. He got a fine wife too, by the way. Kevin Garnett's still alive. Kareem. Magic Johnson. I don't even know where Magic Johnson's on. I don't think he's high up on the scoring list, but he's probably up there somewhere. All right. It just don't make no sense. Let's just say all this stuff he's saying is correct. What are you talking about, Robbie? What? We're gonna go with it. Okay. Let's just say all this stuff he's saying is correct. Okay. Now what? What are we supposed to do with this information? Yeah, you're right. Now I see what you're saying. Let's assume, okay, based on Robbie's comment here, okay, we're going to assume that everything that Umar Johnson is saying here is correct. Okay, now what's the point of all this? What are we supposed to do? What are we supposed to do with this information? How does this uplift the black people from the black struggle? How does this open up this fake school, Frederick Douglass? I don't know. That's a good one, though, right here. What are we supposed to do with this information, sir? I don't know. To this day, I don't know why Umar did this. It still disturbs me to this day. That's why I decided to do a show on it, because there's other stuff I want to still got to get to the Kamala Harris video where he goes off on her. But it still disturbs me to this day. We're 4 years since Kobe passed away. Rest in peace, and Gigi, rest in peace, and everyone else who was on board that helicopter. But it still bothers me that Umar got up there and came up with this conspiracy theory, and it's none of it. It doesn't make any sense. And then on his Instagram page yesterday, and let me find out for sure because I think it was yesterday. It might have been the day before, but I like to be clear on time. He reposted the video. He posted the video that I played earlier, and then he has a caption talking about that, basically saying that this is why they killed Kobe Bryant. So he's reasserting this foolishness. I see Umar, the Brennan Deppa trial there. I'm not even seeing it. Maybe he took it down. Probably people were probably clowning the shit out of him, so he probably took it down after that. Yeah, I'm not even seeing it on here anymore. What is this right here? He just said something on here. It says sensitive content. This photo may contain graphic or violent content. Oh yeah, Umar, this guy. So he should. It looks like he's going to be speaking in Britain somewhere, Great Britain, maybe London or something. And then he has a picture of himself and Brenda's mother, Brenda Deppa's mother. But I'm not seeing the video that he posted. Oh, no, here it is. It's still up here. Let me see what date this was. This was 2 days ago. Okay, because I want to be clear. It was 2 days ago. All right. Oh, thanks, Robbie, for the super chat. Did y'all want to see the picture he took with Brenda Deppa's mother? I know it's not really relevant, but let me go ahead and pull it up right here. Now, matter of fact, let me not do that. Because she probably don't even, I highly doubt she even knew who Umar is. All this crazy talk, Umar talking about white people. Mental illness front row. And so, yeah, I know he's clearly disturbed. And it's not just mental health issues. I think he's a disturbed individual. I think he's one of them types of people that gets off on manipulating people. I'm not sure that he would get off, trying to causing pain to people, but manipulating people and scamming and all that stuff. Someone, there was I think it was a woman. They posted a message and they were, I don't know if they have been following my work on Umar for an extended period of time or not. I don't believe so. I've been meaning to reach out to this person, but they said that as they were watching, and I'm paraphrasing, as they were watching these videos and watching Umar, that they dealt with someone who is a mirror reflection of Umar. I could find that. Let me do that. And I'll bring it up a little bit later. If I find it, I'll bring it up a little bit because it was an interesting read. But what I thought is to have her on, and we can keep her anonymity too. We won't necessarily have to have her on screen, but it could be like an interview and just talk about her experiences, and then we can draw correlations between the person that she was dealing with and Umar Johnson. Understand that Umar Johnson is not the only one who does stuff like this. There's people who, and they may not even be online. I'm sure that there's far more people like Umar who are not online, who are running around scamming people and lying to people and, getting money out of people for different ways, in different ways. But this is, I believe it was a woman. What she was saying was that the person that she was dealing with it just reminded her so much of Umar Johnson, and presenting themselves as if they were all accomplished, but they were living with their mama inside the hood. Well, that's Umar. Well, he ain't living with her now. They done kicked him out. But mental health, the mental illness is very, very clear. And in particular, in this video right here, okay, you can just look at him and tell. All right, here we go.
Always a ritualistic symbolism to the timing of the assassinations. It is always a ritualistic symbolism to the timing of the assassinations. There is always a ritualistic symbolism to the timing of the assassinations. This was no damn accident. This was no accident. This was no accident. I don't think they intended to harm the other 8 victims. I don't think they thought Kobe was taking his helicopter on Sunday. I think they thought they would catch Kobe on a Monday, flying his helicopter himself.
What? You see how ridiculous this is? What is he saying? I don't think they on a Monday flying a helicopter himself.
On Sunday, I think they thought they would catch Kobe on a Monday flying his helicopter himself, which is something he used to do a lot. They thought they would catch Kobe on Monday flying his own helicopter, something he used to do a lot. They didn't know he was going to take it out on Sunday. I don't think they intended for the other 8 to be victims. But what do we know about the third rule of white supremacy? What is Dr. Umar's third rule of white supremacy? White supremacy is ruthless. White supremacy is ruthless.
Roof without a roof.
White supremacy is ruthless. If we got to kill your kids, kill innocent people, we'll do it. Let us not forget America let Pearl Harbor get bombed. Let us not forget America let Pearl Harbor get bombed. They had knowledge that the Japanese was coming to strike, and they let them strike to justify getting involved in war.
See, he's just connecting dots that have nothing to do with what took place on that day, January 26, 2020. But see, I understand because I was in the same mental state. And I'm going to tell y'all, it's a mental health issue. I was not well. I lost my mind in that stuff. I was not well. See? And then here's Umar. He does it here, but then in 2020, but then he brings up the same foolishness 4 years later.
World War II. Know your history. I know mines. Rest in peace, Kobe.
Mine.
Rest in peace, Kobe. Want to give my brother a little libation.
Here we go.
Here at the FDMG. Get your donations in. Cash.me. New Orleans. I will see you.
Then he got to go back to the donations. He don't be up there no more anyway though.
Saturday. New Orleans is going down in La Place 516. Airline Highway. Get your tickets at drumarjohnson.com. New Orleans, I will see you Saturday. Washington, D.C., Maryland, and Virginia, I will see you at the D.C. training next Saturday, February 8th. Peace and Black Power. Cash.me/$FDMG school. Cash.me/$FDMG school. Get those donations in. Peace and Black Power.
He need that money. That's why he need that money, family. Okay, let's go back to, what is this right here? What did I pull up? Oh, okay, I know what this is. Okay, so and then this is the second video after people were calling him out because he was saying that the helicopter that there was video footage of it and people were going in on him. And so this is the second video. Let's watch that. And this is a little lengthy. I'm gonna let it play and I'll limit my commentary and then we'll close out. This will be a shorter live stream. Here we go.
To live your truth. That is important because I'm seeing too many of us who claim to be conscious, although commitment is more important than consciousness. I will take commitment any day over consciousness. I will take a Bible-toting Christian, a Quran-toting Muslim who cares about the black community more than one of these fake wokers. I want to be clear about that. Commitment is more important than consciousness. But when you put your truth out to the world, if someone doesn't accept that truth, keep going with your life. Why do you need other people to endorse your version of reality? Where would Dr. Umar Johnson be if I stopped raising money for the Frederick Douglass Marcus Garvey Academy?
Yeah, you would be homeless, and you're homeless, and you would be out there on the streets living in a cardboard box. But for now, you just living out of rental cars. That's what you would be because you ain't got no job.
Just because people said it wouldn't work, where would I be? More important.
Boy, this sure didn't age well.
Importantly, who would I be if I let people persuade me from pursuing my dream? What if
It should be dissuade me from pursuing my dream? Well, this guy.
If I listened to what people say on Instagram? What if I listened to what people say on Twitter and Facebook?
In the Cookie Crush chat. Well, this guy, he was turning that heat down bad. Look at him.
The dozens of articles written about me on the internet, YouTube. What if I needed other people's approval to build the Frederick Douglass Marcus Garvey Academy? We wouldn't have a school. We wouldn't have a school.
And you still don't have a school 4 years later.
And we would not have raised the money necessary to purchase the school that we have if I needed validation from others. Mental strength, mental toughness is the ability to be comfortable being the only person in the room with your opinion. Let me say that again. Mental strength, mental toughness is your ability to be the only
What is he talking about?
person in the room with your opinion and be comfortable with that. We're going to talk about the 5 assessments today. Some of you have heard me talk about this before, but I haven't discussed the 5 assessments in quite some time, so I want to discuss them today. And those 5 assessments are the 5 dimensions that you should evaluate all African people by in the world before you decide to unite with them, organize with them, join their organization, risk your life for them, waste your time on them. The 5 assessments. Those 5 assessments are courage, and they are all equal, brothers and sisters. None are more important than the others. None are more important than the others. They are all equal, brothers and sisters.
Okay, before we proceed, let me read something to you all real quick here. This person says, I dated a scammer who literally took my money also in a very similar manner via investments that never happened. If I didn't know who Dr. Umar was, I'd almost think that these were the same individuals. This guy was a chronic liar, came through the door lying, and I being an honest and straight up person just fell for it because so many other people were co-signing for him. I should have checked all of the receipts, shake my head. This individual lied about where he lived, claimed to live in a very prestigious area, found out he, like Umar, is also living with his mama in the hood, 50 years old and owns nothing. Even his car is still being paid for. A scam artist, a con artist, no conscious individual. He is always talking about God, but he's a reprobate and a narcissist. He promised to pay every dime back to me, but how can he when he's broke? And they put broke on. I'm sorry, everybody. I need to update my prescription. And ironically, he has the same name as Dr. Umar, but we nicknamed him Scamane. I wonder if this is Jay Morrison. Did y'all know Jay Morrison's name is Jermaine? But I don't think Jay Morrison was living with his mama. I don't think that. So maybe it's somebody else. But they called him Scamane. Scamane Shoemake. Okay. These people will get theirs. God is sitting high and looking low, and every dog has his day. Amen. I hope these two demonic entities never meet. They will collaborate and create a scam out of this world. They have the gift of gab like no other. Praise on seniors, single women, single moms, and Christians. I don't get it. How do people like them even sleep? Yeah, it does. It sounds like it does sound like Umar. Yeah, I'm gonna reply to this person, and I'm gonna see if they will be interested in being an interview guest. I did do an interview with and I want to get other people. I reached out to the young lady that the video went semi-viral where she was talking about she was tired of Umar's pandering. I just haven't heard back from her. And I also reached out to another lady who was the host for Umar when he was in China. And she has a lot of information about Umar, but I haven't heard back from her either. But I started a series. Information Man was our first interview guest of former supporters of Umar Johnson. And I'm just looking for more to interview here on my YouTube page. Okay. All right, if you guys don't mind, before we move on, quick chat, if y'all can hit the like button, I appreciate it. Thank you all so much for being here. Thanks for the mods too for handling business. I appreciate that. And thanks to everyone who sent in super chats as well. I appreciate the support. Okay, I'm going to reply to this person. Let me go ahead and pull this video back up and let's keep going. Here we go.
None are more important than the others. This is the Prince of Pan Africanism coming to you from somewhere in the ghettos of North Central Philadelphia. This is the Prince of Pan Africanism coming to you somewhere within the ghettos of North Central Philadelphia. Judge, evaluate, assess, and study everybody by these four characteristics. As I keep my third eye open for a potential FDMG queen, as I keep my third eye open on sisters, as I keep my third eye open on brothers who can help me in this work, I'm always looking at everybody through the 5 assessments. I look at our ancestors through the 5 assessments. The 5 assessments are, and they're all equal, brothers and sisters. The 5 assessments are courage.
I'll be right back.
Consciousness, commitment, consistency, and creativity. Shout out to 20th and Susquehanna. I'm from 8th and Susquehanna. North Philly all day. Courage, consciousness, consistency, commitment, and creativity. That's what we're going to talk about today. The 5 dimensions of the revolutionary personality. The 5 dimensions of the progressive African personality. That's what we're talking about today. But before we talk about...
Yeah, he forgot cookies. Okay, here we go. This is the part where he starts, because he has to explain the foolishness he was saying in the other video, the one we were watching, where he says that there's video footage of the helicopter crashing. All right. Oh my God. No, number 1, cookies. Number 2, Gucci. Number 3, Punani. You guys stop, please. Please stop. Let's keep going. Here we go.
About it, I want to make a comment about yesterday's morning video on our late brother, now ancestor, the greatest basketball player in history, in my opinion,
No, he's not.
Kobe Bryant. In front of the FDMG Academy, on the sacred red, black, and green rock of FDMG, I gave my assessment of what I believe to be responsible for the death of our brother. And I am unequivocal in my position that Kobe Bryant was assassinated. I am unequivocal in my position. I don't need to debate it. I don't need to discuss it. That's my truth. A friend of mine the night before passed along a piece of information.
Yeah, he does. He did, and that's one of the things that we pointed out. A lot of people pointed out when he did this. He looks like a dope fiend out at the park. I mean, I'm tired right now. I have been sleeping right for like now that I think about it, man, it's been what 13 months. It's just because of my work schedule. You know, I have been sleeping right. I can't even remember the last time I had 8 hours of sleep straight through. Okay, that's why I look like I look right now. But you ain't gonna see me. You ain't gonna see me out in no park looking like this. This guy looked like he just rolled out of bed, a cardboard box down there on Market and 3rd, and that he was turning the heat down the night before, and it was real hot. The humidity was 80%. It was 95 degrees that night, family. Anyway.
He sent me a video. And this is a very reliable brother. Very reliable. He sends me things from time to time. He's a good brother. But last night he reached out to me and said, Doc.
Yeah, he reminded me of Inspector Gadget with that jacket on. Anyway, let me let this play. Okay, we gotta get to this. I'm gonna have a quick show here.
And this is a very reliable brother. Very reliable. He sends me things from time to time. He's a good brother. But last night he reached out to me and said, Doc, the video I sent you that I thought was Kobe Bryant's helicopter was not Kobe Bryant's helicopter. My apologies, bro. First mistake he ever made. First mistake he ever made. No problems.
Now, Umar, it's interesting to see whether or not Umar admits that he made a mistake. So let's see if he does.
Contradictions occur, you straighten them out. So for my Dr. Umar supporters, I want to say to you that the statement I made regarding the helicopter's propeller, the rotor, and how it gave out was not justifiable. That was based on the video. That was not the actual video of what was not Kobe Bryant's helicopter. It was another helicopter.
Yeah, but do you admit that you were incorrect and own up to it? Let's see.
So that piece of information that I saw Kobe Bryant's helicopter before it crashed was incorrect because the video that was given to me was not correctly labeled. It was not.
See that? That's the narcissism. He couldn't even admit that he was wrong. See, I admit when I'm wrong. Sometimes people correct me. I say thank you for the correction. If I give a wrong date on something, I come back and I apologize. Say no, this is the right date on this. I did that recently, right? About the voting thing. But Umar, he can't even admit that he was wrong. He has to put it on somebody else. That's the narcissism.
Kobe Bryant's helicopter.
Yeah, I know. No fact checking at all, sports bet. But that's the thing. Umar's not. He claims to be a scholar. He doesn't do any independent research on anything. He doesn't. He's not a scholar. He doesn't fact check anything. He be throwing crazy figures out there too. Let me let this play. Here we go.
So now that I have withdrawn a piece of faulty evidence, I want to reassert my position that despite the fact that that video was not Kobe's helicopter, now that the world knows that that video was not of Kobe's helicopter, I want to be
What you mean the world knows? Well, there we are now. What you mean? Everybody knew that. What are you talking about, clown? Anyway.
clear that it does not change my position on the assassination. In fact, I am more convinced this morning than I was yesterday morning. I said I am more convinced this morning than I was yesterday morning that Kobe Bryant was murdered. I'm giving you my truth. Now, some of you would ask the question, you would say, what evidence do you have? What proof do you have? Now, let us be clear. Proof and evidence are not the same. Proof and evidence are not the same. Proof and you can have evidence that Dr. Umar did not buy the 2 charter schools in Wilmington. You may believe you have evidence that I did not buy the school. You may believe you have evidence that I stole the fundraising money. You may think you have evidence that I don't have a doctorate. You may have evidence that I'm not related to Frederick Douglass. You may have evidence that I have a baby with a white girl in London. You may have evidence.
What? What are you talking about?
That I'm not a certified school psychologist, certified school principal. You may have evidence. Evidence.
I highly doubt that I highly doubt that Umar still has certification too, by the way. Because with certifications, you have to re-up the certification. It's called continuing education. And I highly doubt that Umar's certifications are current.
Is information that by itself does not prove anything. It only leads support to one's original premise. Evidence alone does not prove the truth. But when you have proof,
That's what it sounds to me,
proof leaves no doubt. Evidence leaves a
He got a London snow bunny, baby. That's funny.
Proof leaves no doubt.
Yeah.
Evidence leaves a lot of doubt. When you say you have proof, that means whatever that is will show beyond a shadow of a doubt that what you claim to be true is true. Proof. When you have evidence, you have pieces that support your narrative. And by themselves, those pieces do not prove your narrative. Does Dr. Umar Johnson have proof that Kobe Bryant was murdered? I do not. Nor am I looking for any. Because I live in a world that is thoroughly influenced by my study of political science and history and military science. And I know that the first art or act of war is to destroy the goddamn proof.
You see this? He's supposed to be a scholar. It's circular logic too. Like, okay, this is what happened, but I don't have any proof of it because all the proof and the evidence that would prove that this happened was destroyed. Okay, well then I believe you then. That's all I need to know, that it was destroyed. Is that ridiculous?
Let me say it again. The first thing you do when you want to change the narrative is you destroy the goddamn proof. When the white man said Jesus was white, before he could do that, he had to destroy the proof of Jesus as an African. Before he could say that Jesus was white, he had to destroy the proof that Jesus was an African. Now, fortunately for us and unfortunately for him, and thanks to our great grandmaster teachers like Dr. Renoko Rashidi, who is still with us, Dr. Leonard Jeffries, who is still with us, Dr. James, who is still with us, James Smalls, Professor Smalls, Professor Anthony Browder,
James Smalls chastised Umar, by the way. Did you guys know that? Want me to play it for y'all? This wasn't too long ago either. I also have it when Dr. Valentine chastised him too. Yeah, I got it right here. Let me know if y'all want me to play it. I could play it. Okay, y'all want me to play it? All right, let me let this keep going, and then I'll find the where it's at inside the video, the timestamp. I'll be right back.
Boy, the goddamn proof. When the white man said Jesus was white, before he could do that, he had to destroy the proof of Jesus as an African. Before he could say that Jesus was white, he had to destroy the proof that Jesus was an African. Now, fortunately for us and unfortunately for him, and thanks to our great grandmaster teachers like Dr. Renoko Rashidi, who is still with us, Dr. Leonard Jeffries, who is still with us, Dr. James, who is still with us, James Smalls, Professor Anthony Brown.
Okay, so this is on Sonetta TV. I'll just play just a little bit of it. And this premiered on, this is 4 years ago, March 6, 2020. So this was shortly after Umar did this video that we're watching right now. Yeah, maybe 2.5 months later. Thanks for becoming a member, KK. By the way, I did switch over, migrated a lot of the public videos that I had on my YouTube page over to members only. In fact, I have more members only videos on different things, but there's a lot of there's a YouTube, Umar Johnson archive there too. But I have more videos for members on my YouTube page than I have for the public. So if anyone's interested in gaining access to it, you can become a member. There's links, a button down below that says join. And then from time to time, I do live streams for members as well. So this was the video that we're watching right here on the screen. This video was from January of 2020. The video that we're watching now is from March, and this was the end of January. Okay, so the end of January 2020. This is at the video we're going to watch now is from March of 2020. Okay, so let me go ahead and cue this up, and we'll only watch just a little bit of it. Okay, but he brought up James Smalls, and James Smalls is not the only elder in the Black conscious community that has called Umar out for his foolishness. I played it recently where Dr. Valentine, when the SETI rant took place, he was chastising Umar and SETI for that matter for their behavior. Okay, so let me do a screen share. Let me know if you guys can hear. Yeah, I hope you guys are enjoying the show. If y'all hit the like button, I appreciate it. Cookie Fresh chat is undefeated. Okay, let me pull this up. Here we go.
What a great mind can cause, what high moral fiber and dissension can cause. What are we to carry away from it? And more importantly, how do we apply it to modern time? Because we have a brother named Umar Johnson, who is steadily losing support from a lot of Black people who feel that his system for setting up the school is a failing system. Are we to completely withdraw support for our brother based on some of what may be very obvious flaws?
By the way, this is Zion Lex. He used to be in my chat room when I was covering Polite, because he's talked a lot about the Polite situation in the past.
Or are we to try to find some kind of solution where we can actually go from critiquing him to helping him? How do we learn from the experience of Malcolm X?
First, we have to understand what was the experience. Malcolm, as you were talking about, came out of a family.
Yes.
A family that was rooted in resistance to the tyranny against African sincerely. What counts? To reach out to Omar, but Omar needs some mistakes. But the appropriate knowledge wasn't in place. But his mom got incarcerated in one of the wealthier peoples in Boston from the Black community. And so people just remove that, so you don't see none of that. You can only take what comes. And Malcolm came with the products that became Malcolm X. And what we saw was envy, jealousy, hatred that resulted in violence. Envy, jealousy, and hatred derives from ignorance. If the knowledge, if the appropriate knowledge, people got knowledge. wisdom to enlightenment, and this would have never happened. And so in this case, we saw desire to usurp the position that Malcolm had created for himself, envy, the sacrifice what he sat on. He's made some mistakes, but I sacrificed, and led to his death. And when we come back to Brother Umar, I love Brother Umar. He's made some mistakes, but I've seen him correct many of those mistakes.
Yes.
He says he now has a facility, but we know to open a school from scratch requires millions of dollars.
That's right.
Just to set up your facility. You know, we own a business in Africa, and I've been struggling with that business for years, so I know what it takes to run an institution. You know, and so we need to reach out to Umar, but Umar needs to reach back.
That's
One
right.
of his weaknesses.
That's important.
When people reach out to him, he don't reach back. And he needs to reach back if he wants the support from the brothers and sisters. And then he needs to be transparent so we know what we're supporting.
That's right.
Okay. And give us the opportunity to see, to advise you and whether this is probable or possible. Take the critique. Whatever decision you make to do after the critique is given.
Yeah, and this is a very important point he's making here, is that Umar feels as if he's beyond critique, and then he also feels as if he can do everything himself, that he does not, even though he says he needs help, he doesn't want help to finish a school. He wants to go have this go on perpetually so that he can keep collecting money for a school that does not exist. And the other thing he said that's true is that Umar does not reach back. Okay, what ends up happening is, what tends to happen with Umar is that when people reach out to him to provide him with assistance, he may talk with them for a while. But if as soon as Umar realizes that they're not potentially a potential donor, he discards them. He doesn't deal with that. He wants the money. He doesn't want to have to deal with people to actually open up a school. So what Dr. Smalls is speaking to is absolutely true. You know, I've studied Umar for years, and this is very, very true. And I've spoken with people, and even in a documentary, that reached out to Umar to provide Umar with services. He doesn't want services. What he wants is money. Okay. He doesn't reach back. Once he finds out and realizes that you're not going to be sending him money indefinitely, that's when he cuts ties.
At least give us the opportunity to give you that critique. And then we can move forward as family. But this situation we're in, where everybody's throwing darts at everybody, that's not the kind of life I came out of with my mother and my father, my grandparents and my great parents, who all lived in the house that I grew up in, with some aunties and great aunts and all the mothers in that house. I came into this world out of heaven. I came into New York out of heaven. Because South Carolina in that into this world. There's God itself. So what are we then? God.
Template as an example. How powerful are the speakers of tomorrow when they are backed by a council of elders? Because this is essentially what the
very powerful, because the elders represent a council that will deal with conflict resolution, based on wisdom and law as we understand it. And when you don't have that, you're in trouble. Because you're trying to respond based on arrogance or ego or defensiveness or injury or hurt.
Yeah, he's talking about Umar.
You can't come to conflict resolution under those kinds of qualities, being the eminent players in the game. And that's why you need a council of elders. Like in any home, you have a mother and a father, a grandmother, a grandpa. That's your council of elders in the household.
Yeah, I think Dr. Smalls actually says that he reached out to Umar at some point. Let's see if it's here, because we need to get going here. I'm trying to, I want to have this done in an hour and a half.
And they're there as people who handle conflict resolutions, because they know the laws, they know the rules, they got experience with these things before. Umar and others need the same. I'm hoping he can get the school built, but we know no man can do it by himself, because our community needs such a model and such a school. It doesn't come easy, but we've done it before, and we could do it again with him and then replicate that in other places. He's a very skilled young brother. He's a very learned young brother in the psychology of children in the school system.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that Umar is skilled. I have to say that he's incorrect right there. Does he have education? Yes, but skill, no. Because someone who has a certain skill or any type of skill, they're able to produce. Skill turns into production. Umar hasn't produced anything. Now, one could argue that Umar has a skill which is what people call the gift of gab, but that doesn't produce anything of consequence. What that does, it allows him to scam people. Okay, so I disagree with Dr. Smalls there.
And so it's up to people like you and other youngsters and myself, and I reach out to him all the time. But he is guilty of not reaching back. And I'm saying on air to him, Umar, when we reach out to you, reach back. Let us see how we can help you. Many of us come to the table with different things, so we can't all do the same thing. And we may not even have the things you need, but we may have something that you can use to get to the things you need. So, and that goes for anyone who's doing other things. He's not.
All right, we'll leave it there. But again, like I was saying before, and shout out to Zion Lex and Dr. Smalls and Sonetta for that matter, because this is on Sonetta's page. So I want to give him credit. He's right. Umar has a history of not responding to people who reach out to help him, including in the times where Umar is acting a fool. There's elders that will reach out to Umar and try to, get him on the right track. He's hard-headed. He's hard-headed. Let me share something with you all. And I think I mentioned this before, and then we'll get back to the video, and then we start winding this down. My older sons, they got to a certain age where they don't listen to me like they used to. And part of it is because they're older. They go to work, they do their thing, they got their friends, and I talk with them, but when I try to give them advice or I try to give them direction, they hear me, but it's not like when they were, 12, 13, 14 years old. My youngest son, he listens, And part of it, as we grow, we want to have our independence. We want to make our own way, and we want to find our own way too. But the thing that I was talking to my wife about is that I was saying, I don't understand why they don't listen like they used to. And she says, well, they're young men. And I said, yeah, you're right. And I said, it may be that the way I look at it is from the vantage point of someone who didn't have a father in his life. And I was thinking about it. I figured maybe in my boys, my older boys, in their mind, it's like I've always been here. So it's not that big of a deal for me to be here. But on the other hand, for me, when I look at it, when I say that my father wasn't around, that he wasn't there, still not there, that it was a big deal to me as a child that he wasn't there. And, even to this day, he's still not there. So that's something I had to consider because I was taking it personally, but it's not personal. It's not personal. It's just a different set of circumstances that my son has received. Like, for instance, these kids got a gang of food. They got a gang of food. Pantry, refrigerator of stuff. That wasn't our experience. We ain't had no electricity cut off or water cut off. I was plumbing all of the stuff yesterday to just clear out all the plumbing work. We didn't grow up like that. So there's things that sometimes I feel like my children take for granted, but then on the other hand, I can't impose my own personal reality onto them because they came into a world in a different situation and circumstance, and they should be able to have that experience without me taking things personally. So the reason I bring this up is because Umar is the type of person that does not want to have help. He does not want to have guidance. And I'm gonna tell you, men, it's for everyone, but for you men in particular, there should never be a point in your life, so long as you have people in your life who are wiser than you and who have more experience than you, to where you would sit back and say, I do not want your guidance. It should never be that way. Okay, we should for the people that we respect, that we know have our best interests at heart, the people who are wise, we should seek their counsel and get whatever type of direction that we need in life so that we can do better in life. Umar, he's the complete opposite. He thinks he feels as if he already knows everything. And the irony is that if you look at where he's at today, obviously he doesn't know everything because he's homeless. Right? All right. Okay, let's get back to it. Here we go.
Still with us, and our grandmaster teacher ancestors like Dr. Yusuf bin Yakinen, John Jackson, Chancellor Williams, Sheikh Anta Diop, the great Ivan Van Sertima. They were unable to destroy all the images of the Black Christ. The white man couldn't get rid of all the...
Yeah, that's it right there. That's all. He doesn't want wise counsel because of ego, and it will expose him. Yep.
Proof, right. But he got rid of as much proof as he could. But what if the white man got rid of all the images of Black Christ? What if he totally erased the proof that Jesus was black? Does that mean Jesus was white?
Yeah, this is true, James. Thanks for posting this. With young men, you got to give them room to make mistakes so they can learn to be men. You're right. It's just that as a parent, you don't want to see your children making mistakes, but they're going to make them. And you got to be understanding and patient and love them anyway. You're right on that. Yep.
Because we don't have proof? Hell no. Does it mean Jesus was white if we did not?
Yeah, Umar has an open invitation he will never come on this show because he does not know how to handle men, and he doesn't know how to handle critique, and he doesn't know how to handle critical questions. He would not dare. Yes, Shuni, even if you said, Umar, I will give you $50,000 for you to go on LenonHonor's YouTube page and do a live stream for 3 hours, and you have to answer every single question and provide receipts. For instance, I would ask him, well, how much did you spend to, how much was the purchase price for these buildings? How much did you spend for these abandoned buildings in Wilmington, Delaware? He would have to not only tell me how much, which he's never told anyone. I actually have to find the amount online. And who's to say that that was incorrect? What I found was 400,000. It could be much less than that. Okay? He would have to not only answer the question, but he would also have to provide the receipt to show, listen, this is the purchase price. You see, there's all types of questions. How much money have you raised to date? How much money have you spent to date? How much more money do you need to finish renovations, even though you said renovations were complete a year ago? I think it'll be a year ago in what, 2 days? You said renovations were complete? He would not dare. If he was in a situation where he would have to answer honestly, he wouldn't do it. You can give him $50,000, he wouldn't do it. Guarantee it. All right, let's go.
Have proof to the contrary. No, it does not. Open up your damn third eyes. Open up your damn third eyes. Open up your damn third eyes. Truth is truth, whether you can prove it or not.
What in the world?
You disagree with me? Well, let's talk about the greatest unprovable truth of all. Let's talk about the greatest unprovable truth of all. Let's talk about the greatest unprovable truth of all, and that is that God exists. Does God exist? Can you ever prove unequivocally that there is a supreme creator? You can't absolutely prove it, just like you can't absolutely.
Yeah, never lace media. To what degree did you work with Umar exactly, if you don't mind posting inside the chat room? Okay.
Disprove it. But guess what? Guess what? Despite all the proof to the contrary, I will always assert my belief that there is nothing other in this world than the great divine supreme consciousness, the almighty I am.
There's enough zombies at FDMG. No need for cemeteries. It's so out of blue and random, but it's true. It's true. There's enough zombies at FDMG. No need for cemeteries. It's like, you ain't got to bury me. I'm going to FDMG. They be walking the hall. You ain't got to bury none of them. All right, that's wild. So out of the blue, random. Thanks, little slug. Okay. Yeah, I don't know if you're still here, but yeah, I wouldn't mind. I mean, even if you want to come on and talk, you're welcome to do so. Matter of fact, here I'll put it on here that you can talk about, how you work with Umar and why he seemed like a good dude at that time. And I would actually, do you still feel the same way? Here, I'll put a link right here. And this is just for you if you're interested in doing it. You don't have to. That's perfectly fine. Okay, let's go.
So don't tell me, because if you don't have proof, you cannot entertain a particular narrative or conclusions. Lawyers do it in the courtroom all the time. They create suspicion where there is none. They manufacture evidence where there is none. It's called the art of persuasion. Most of what you call proof is nothing but persuasion. Opinions masquerading as facts. Now, what is Dr. Umar's evidence to support the belief that the greatest NBA basketball player of all time, Kobe Bryant, was murdered?
Yeah, it's about to get crazy. But if you tuned in later, this is the video that Umar posted 2 days ago. And that's why I wanted to do this live stream, because he's representing this fake conspiracy theory that Kobe Bryant was assassinated. It wasn't an assassination. It was a plane crash. Okay, it was pilot error. This is the video right here.
It was Kobe.
Years now. I started going out in like 19.
Popular in China. Why are you so popular in China?
I don't know. I mean, I've been going to China for years now. I started going out in like 1998.
When we got to China, it wasn't even close. It was Kobe.
Who's your favorite?
Kobe.
Oh, Kobe Bryant.
Kobe is the best. Kobe's celebrity was like Michael Jackson about to go on tour back in the day. I mean, a girl fainted right in front of us trying to get to Kobe.
It's a bit overwhelming and a little bit embarrassing, to be honest with you. You know, I'm just trying to blend in and, you know, duck my head down as I'm just, you know, want to be part of the mix. But nonetheless, it's extremely special.
It was thousands of fans waiting at the hotel. But they couldn't even get close to the hotel, but they were just waiting to take pictures of our bus because they knew Kobe Bryant was on the bus.
That's what's his name. He goofy. And then Umar put under for the caption right here, he says, this is why he had to be stopped. Talking about Kobe Bryant, the most popular athlete in the world's most populous country, who was planning his own basketball league to be headquartered in China, complete with his own sneaker line, would have spelled disaster for the NBA and Nike. And that's why Umar is proposing that Kobe Bryant was, quote unquote, assassinated. Okay, utterly ridiculous. Here we go.
But before I go into that, let me briefly speak on another ridiculous premise I've been seeing lately. Another ridiculous premise that I've been seeing lately. There's a premise out that says we cannot investigate assassinations until families have finished grieving. That investigating assassinations somehow disrupts the grieving process. I want to know where you got your goddamn doctorate in psychology at. I want to know where you got your goddamn doctorate in psychology at. Because speaking as a psychotherapist of more than 20 years experience, when someone has a loved one who is murdered, one of the most difficult things for them to do is to move on without having all the answers. Let me say it again. See, y'all not dealing with some YouTube coon. Y'all not dealing with somebody who woke up yesterday and started.
Now, I don't have no evidence of this, but I think maybe he's talking about me. Hit the one. No. You know, I was just looking this up. I don't see any evidence that Kobe Bryant was planning on opening up a basketball league in China. I'm looking right now. I don't see any of that. Is there anyone here who have seen some sort of receipt, a video, an article where Kobe Bryant is being quoted as saying that he is planning on opening up a basketball league in China, headquartered in China? I'm looking right now. I might have evidence, however, that Umar's sneak dissing me. Okay. Yeah, I haven't seen it. I don't know if anyone else saw. I have not seen it. I'm looking. I'll keep looking. Let's go.
To the YouTube page. You're not dealing with some con artists who push black consciousness in the interest of personal capitalism.
All right, now Umar is projecting. Here we go.
I live this shit. I've been living it since 9 years old, 4th grade, 18th in Oxford, Meade Elementary School. I live this shit. I'm not Johnny come lately to the game. I live this shit. One of the best ways to help a family get over their pain is to help them get answers, to bring justice to the situation. What did you see Trayvon Martin's mother and father doing right after he got murdered? What did you see Michael Brown's mother and father and stepfather doing? Eric Garner's.
See, I wonder who Headstone. No. Whose headstone is he leaning against like it's nothing? No, he's not at a cemetery right here, Iceman Vamp. Umar is at a playground. And I think he's leaning up like the jungle gym part of the jungle gym. I have videos of him like doing a lecture and he's on the jungle gym, jumping around like a monkey. I kid you not. Hit the one. Anybody remember that? This guy was jumping around on the jungle gym, talking, giving a lecture at a park, and he was jumping around, looking like a straight monkey on a monkey bars. I kid you not. It's one of the craziest things. It's crazy. But I do have a video of Umar where he's leaning up against Frederick Douglass headstone in the cemetery. So disrespectful. He's like literally leaning up against it, talking to people. That's when he was giving cemetery tours. Just a nut. Thanks, Iceman Vamp. You don't remember that? Does anyone? No, I'm not lying. Anyone else? Yeah, okay. See, people who've been around a while. Yeah, he was on the jungle gyms, and he was up there like this, yelling and screaming and going back and forth. I said, this guy's a nut. Yeah, okay, you remember it. Yeah, it was a classic. Yeah. I would try and find it, but we're almost to 2 hours. I was trying to get this done in an hour and a half. It never works. Thanks, Iceman, man. Thank you.
Did they say stop asking questions until we're done grieving? Did they say leave us alone for a minute, or did they get right after the pursuit for justice? Did they say leave us alone, or did they say let's get right after the pursuit for justice? Who do you know? Did Betty Shabazz, after they murdered El Hajj, Malik El Shabazz?
Listen, I still have not seen any indication here on the internet of Umar's claim that Kobe Bryant was going to open up a league in China. It doesn't even make sense, because Kobe Bryant's goal once he retired was to get into film production. In fact, I believe he won an Emmy or something like that. How are you going to do all that and be producing films and documentaries, and then you're going to open up a basketball league in China at the same time? I don't see anything online. I'll keep looking. This guy, he be lying so much, just coming up with stuff.
The Betty Shabazz says, don't worry about who killed my husband. I'm grieving right now. Did Coretta Scott King say, don't worry about who killed my husband?
Okay, yeah, he won an Oscar. Okay, thank you for the correction. I appreciate it. We got about 20 more minutes of this video. I'm going to let it play for a while. I'll limit my commentary.
I'm grieving right now. Did Miley ever say, don't worry about who killed my husband? I'm grieving right now. Hell no. The day after the murder, they was looking for answers. They was looking for justice. The best way we can help Kobe's widow and family is to get the answers. The hell wrong with you? He one of the most popular personalities on the planet Earth. That man is loved on 7 continents. I'm loved on 7 continents too, but the difference is he's loved by all races, and I'm
here he go. He got to make it about himself.
Loved by just one race. Your little Instagram video don't change shit for them. Your little Facebook video don't change shit for them. Your little tweet doesn't change anything for them. Talking about you don't pursue justice until grieving is over. You jackass, when you lose somebody you love, you never stop grieving. When you lose somebody who you know lost somebody they love who's over the grieving you don't get over that shit. You will always hurt. There's always.
What is he talking about? What? I don't understand why he's going. Why is he talking like this?
A piece of you that will grieve for the rest of your life. I'm talking facts. I'm talking facts. You don't ever get over. There's no end to grieving. What are the 5 stages of grief? There is shock, denial, bargaining, acceptance, and resolution. Shock, denial, bargaining, acceptance, and resolution.
He all over the place. Alfonso says, Umar is sad. I met him when I was 21. I'm 35 now. He's just a bum. Well, the thing is that if you met him when you were 25 or 30, that's 14 years. You met him in and around the time that he stated that the school was going to open in 2013. That was back in 2010. See, that's the thing with Umar. There are people who go way back. See, I didn't know about Umar really until 2013, 2014, maybe. But I didn't really start to really research him until 2000. I want to say 2018, maybe 2018. I did do 2 videos on Umar because I was talking about narcissism, and I used him as an example. But that was way back. But in terms of researching him, no, that came a little bit later. But you were around when Umar was on his Facebook page talking about the school was going to open September 11, 2013. What I would propose is that there are people who were around back then, like you were. You guys already know by now that he's just a bum. He's a virtual vagrant. That's what he is. And he uses the idea of opening up a school to lure people in so that they send him money. And that's how he lives. See? But one of the challenges, Alfonso, is that there's a lot of people that they don't even know the history. They don't know Umar's history. There's people who don't know about the St. Paul school scam, which started in 2014. There's people who don't know about the Detroit school scam or the Florida school scam. You know, they don't know about the school scam that he was talking about, how the Archdiocese of Chicago, they didn't want to sell him a building for whatever reason. But people who have been around long, like you've been around longer than most people, you know that anyone would get it by now. You know, thanks for the super chat. Appreciate it. The challenge with Umar is that there's a lot of people because platforms like the Breakfast Club bring him on. Even the Art of Dialogue, they bring him on. There's another one too that's really popular, and they have Umar on consistently. I can't remember the name of it right now. But because they bring him on, it exposes new audiences to Umar Johnson's scam, and they don't know the history. They weren't around when you were around. And so you have a new crop that comes in, and then Umar just takes advantage of them for a while. He uses and abuses and gets as much money as he can out of them, and then he moves on to the next. The person who used to do this too, and you can look at it on a lesser level, because there's micro, you can look at it with Polite. Polite, part of what he was doing with his harem was that he would bring women in, and then he would quote unquote this idea of making them his wives. And so it's like a revolving door. And if you guys go back and you follow him long enough and you see his timeline and you've been around long enough, you'll see that there was a lot more women who were coming through that he claimed that were his wives. And so there was a time where he had one, I think her name was Aminette, and then there was another woman that came on that was there consistently. She's not around anymore, even going up to when he was incarcerated. And then there was other women coming through, other women. And what would happen is that it was a revolving door and it was a filtering mechanism. Someone would come in and stay for a while, but then they would leave. And so there'll be times where he has 4 wives and then he's back down to 3. And then you have 5 and then he's back down to 2. Aminette's always been there. Then he gets up to 6 and then he's back down to 3. But what that is it's just another example of what Umar has done. Umar's done it to a larger audience, but Polite, in terms of his harem, that's what he was doing to the women. Now Polite also did the same thing with his followers too. He would target people and he would present himself as an African first. Okay. And then at a certain point, he started to get into militancy. So that's when he was wearing the black berets. And then he would have the boots on, the military boots. You guys ever seen this? And he's talking about the white man, this and white. And then he gets into comedic sciences. And that's when he starts his cult, a New Covenant. You see? And throughout all of this, he's filtering different people. He's just touching here and there on these different demographics of black people. And he's getting money out of them all throughout. Status correction. That's when he was kind of like into the Moorish stuff. But then ultimately, he gets to this whole pimp archetype. And that too becomes a way of making money. And if you guys think that somehow he wasn't pimping out his quote unquote so-called wives, you're mistaken. That's why he went over there to Hollywood. That's why he had them all of a sudden they start dressing like prostitutes. For what? See? That's just him filtering through and filtering through and filtering through. And there's a lot of women that came through for a little bit, and then you see them that they're gone. Some of them got pregnant and then left. But then there were also ones that stick around for a little bit longer. He was grooming a lot of these, the younger ones too, for a long time. If you guys go and look, I can't remember what the guy's name is. I could pull it up, but he interviewed Polite and his wife, 2 of his wives. And one of them was really young. And she talked about how the way that she met him was that they had not a library, but a bookstore. And I don't know if Polite owned it or he worked there, because there's a whole other story about how he tried to kill this other young lady too. It was I know I'm going off. What's the P guy, the ped guy? Malachi York, his daughter, her name was Uma, I think. Uma York. He tried to kill her. And it was all about this building, and there was a not a library, but a bookstore. But the point that I'm making is that one of his wives was a teenager. They saw her when she was a teenager, and so they groomed her in advance. Almanet and Polite, and then here we are years later, and now she's inside of that harem. Well, the point that I want to make here is that it's a filtering mechanism. They filter through people, and Umar filtered through people. And he's still doing it to this day because people continue to get him a platform, and it exposes a whole new audience. And thankfully for you, you realize the truth. He ain't nothing but a bum. He don't care about black people. Not at all. Okay, Alfonso, thanks for the super chat. I appreciate it. I apologize for going off, but a lot of the history stuff is interesting. And there's another one that says, I will email you proof of pick I've done a lot. He's still the same guy. Yeah, whatever, any information you want to send me, you're welcome to do so. My email is LenonHonor@yahoo.com. Just make sure you have your at least your first name in it, so I know that it's you. And if there's anything that you allow me to share publicly, I'll definitely do that. There's a woman, I read her message earlier, and she talked about how she's dealt with someone who's like Umar, a scammer and a liar and a pathological liar. And I read her message to the audience earlier. And what I want to do is, and I already emailed, I replied to her comment on my YouTube page. I said, listen, are you interested in coming and being interviewed? You know, I interview, we can keep your anonymity and we can talk about your experiences. Because the thing is that people like Umar, Polite, Jay Morrison, the reason why they're able to do what they've been able to do is because of the internet. If they didn't have the internet, they would have to do it in the real world. But let us not be mistaken, everyone, in the Cookie Crush chat. Just because someone is not online doing what Umar Johnson is doing, Jay Morrison is doing, and what Polite was doing, doesn't mean that we don't have a whole crop of them out there in the real world doing the same thing. See this? So this is something for us to consider. And if there are people who have dealt with people like Umar, who out there will be willing to talk about their experience, doesn't mean that they dealt with Umar specifically, but they've dealt in the real world with people like Umar. I wouldn't mind having them on as interview guests, you know, because it would definitely illuminate some of the things to look out for when you find charlatans out here in the real world, like Umar Johnson, who's mainly virtual, Polite, Jay Morrison. There's a whole host of other ones too. Okay. All right. Thanks again, Alfonso. I appreciate it. All right. Let's get back to it, everyone. Here we go.
And you can go back and forth. Y'all want me to get clinical? I'll get clinical with your ass. You can go, one day you shocked. Next thing you know, you think you get into acceptance and you end back in denial. One day you think you're moving on and you back in shock. You go back and forth when you're going through grieving. That process don't ever end. Who the hell y'all think y'all talking to? See, the problem with a lot of you is social network is your whole goddamn life. Social network is the total sum of your existence.
Okay, real quickly, yeah, I'm aware of this, but it's not that, and I try to be careful of saying things like children, because it's not a like. Like would imply like some level of respect. That's not. He's a child predator. That's what he is. But understand what I'm talking about is his harem, the women that he brought through. And I'll say this, that part of the women, that what he was targeting to was women who had children, just like Umar targets women who have children. See, these are called child predators. Okay. So understand that Polite's goal was not just to have women in his harem, but also to target the children of these women. And that's precisely what ended up happening with led him to being in jail. And he got off easy. He sure did. All right, let's go.
You go to work, come home, pay your Wi-Fi bill.
Yeah, I've been following that. Terrence, in my opinion, Terrence Howard has mental health issues. That's part of it. But the other thing is the need for attention. There's something that he said in this one interview where he was talking about it was almost like he was going down. He felt like he was going down this path as a superhero or super villain that was going to destroy the world. And I said, this guy is like a megalomaniac. Like he really thinks that. I actually think he has some mental health. There's some mental health stuff going on there. Maybe even some narcissism that's going on there. But the other thing is the need for attention. Oftentimes, people will say things that need that type of attention that's so outlandish. Umar does that all the time. He'll say stuff that's so far out there just to get people talking, and then it picks up traction, and then now people want to interview him. Snow Bunny crisis this. Let me talk bad about Kamala Harris. Let me talk bad about this person, that person. Well, and I have a sense that that's in part what's happening with this brother. That ultimately he needs the attention. He was able to get the attention while he was in the industry. He's not so much in the industry these days, but he still needs the attention. So he will come up with outlandish stuff, and then his mind is out there. I can tell he's been in the conspiracy theory paradigm too. I can tell he's gone through that stuff. Maybe not to the same degree like Umar or that I did, but I lost my mind in that. I can see how it could happen. Okay, does that mean that somehow he's not intelligent? No. Okay, some people are so intelligent that it drives them crazy. You know, and then there's other issues too, just the need for attention and to have adoration. And to have people look up to you as this, you know, godlike figure. I think that's part of that brother's problem, is that he actually feels like he's some special type of demagogue or something like that. But I've been following that. Yeah. All right, let's go.
Your cell phone bill, 8 hours at work and 16 on social network. You ain't got no goddamn life. That's the problem. 8 hours at work and the other 16 on social network, wasting your damn life away. You ain't got no purpose.
Dang, he's talking about himself because he's always on social media. This is interesting.
You need to have a purpose for what.
Yeah. That's what it is, Wendell. It's a God complex. That's what it is. I can't remember what interview it was. I think it was an interview that he did on Joe Rogan where he says something, and I sat back and said, why are you thinking of yourself like the guy that has the glove with the stones? He was talking about himself as like that. And I said, what kind of shit? But Umar's done the same thing. He talked about how he's a superhero at night and a school psychologist during the day. And you guys remember he had the comic book and a little, I could pull it all up. That's what it's crazy. I don't understand that. I don't get it to this day. But Umar has a God complex, and I think this brother has a God complex too. I really do.
Are you alive?
Yeah,
especially if you African. What is your purpose? That's what I want to know. Black woman, when you meet a man who you think might be your king, the first thing I want you to ask that man, what is your purpose in life? Just don't let no man lead you if he ain't got no purpose. Don't let no man lead with you if he ain't got no. The first question my daughter better ask a potential mate, I'm going to ask him if she don't. What is your purpose in life? Separate from my daughter, why are you here? Because if you ain't got a purpose.
It's crazy. He's not even in his daughter's lives. Neither one of them.
Purpose for living. Then this marriage won't have a purpose either. Purpose. And that's why when we come together under the banner of Pan African nationalism, when we have all these meetings, you know why we go to meetings all the time and we don't get nothing accomplished? You want to know why we go to all these meetings and we never get anything accomplished?
Why, Umar?
You got black people saying, I'm tired of meetings. I don't want no more meetings. We've had enough meetings. Do you know why?
Why?
That's because most of our meetings, when we come together, don't have a purpose. How many times? Excuse me. How many?
This is y'all's principle. I'm trying to find a monkey bar video, but I can't find it. Was it a jungle gym or monkey bar? I can't remember what it was.
Excuse me. How many times you been to a community meeting and nothing got accomplished? You know why nothing got accomplished? Because y'all did not start the meeting out with a purpose. Don't you let nobody
waste your time. I don't care who. Telephone conversation, what's the purpose? Dinner meeting, what's the purpose? Organizational gathering, what's the purpose? You're not wasting my time. What is the purpose? So, I have 3 possible suspects for the murder of my Philadelphia brother, rest in peace, Kobe Bryant. I have 3. Number 1, and these are in no order. No suspect is of more interest than the other. These are in no particular order. You are listening to the Prince of Pan Africanism somewhere within the ghettos of North Central Philadelphia.
Okay, this is Umar trying to buy time to come up with these 3 whatever. He's just making this up. Yeah, exactly. This is one of those moments where I say, here we go. Here we go. See, he's trying to buy time to come up with something. All right.
The NBA, as a multinational corporation, is a suspect in Dr. Umar's investigation. The National Basketball Association is a suspect in Dr. Umar's investigation. That's right. The goddamn NBA is a suspect. As soon as I said that, Mama Oya blew my cell phone off the stand. As soon as I named the NBA as a suspect, Mama Oya, and now the winds is coming. Soon when I said the NBA, Orisha Oya blew my phone off the stand. That's not proof that it was the NBA, but that's damn sure some good evidence.
He's not thinking straight. He's not rational. This is just he's mental. Like to this day, it amazes me that people listen to this guy and they believe stuff that he says, but the guy is mentally disturbed. He's delusional. He's homeless too. But, you know, that also plays a part. There's a lot of people that are homeless because of the mental health issues. And then he has a God complex. He got the narcissism. He believes that he's beyond reproach, but there's no way that he's going to get the help that he needs so long as he thinks like that. He has to humble himself and see the truth that he needs help. Now, mind you, let me say this, that with Umar, it's on the spectrum. And what I mean by that is that there are times where he's in a really bad state, and then there's other times where he's functional. And I'm talking about really bad state in terms of mentally. And this video right here is a clear example. It's one of the, it has to be one of the top, well, I don't even know, I can't even say top 5, maybe top 10 instances where Umar is just way out there. And obviously he's struggling with the mental health stuff. Okay, he's always struggling with it, but I'm talking about in an extreme way. And this is up there. So what he's saying is that the reason why his phone was blown over was because of Mama Oya, which is a deity, Ifa deity. It's really an aspect of nature. And that because Mama Oya, the Orisha, Mama Oya blew the phone off, that is evidence that what he's saying is true, which is that the NBA is a suspect. I mean, how can you rationalize that? I mean, how could you talk to someone like that and have a intelligent conversation? He's delusional. Yeah, he does. He thinks he's so much smarter than everyone else. And who would listen to this clown? Go get a job. Yeah, I know. Yeah. Let me replay that part.
That's right. The goddamn NBA is a suspect. As soon as I said said that Mama Oya blew my cell phone off the stand. As soon as I named the NBA as a suspect, Mama Oya, and now the wins is coming. Soon when I said the NBA, Orisha Oya blew my phone off the stand. That's not proof that it was the NBA, but that's damn sure some good evidence. That's not proof that it was the NBA, but that's damn sure some good evidence that soon when I mention the NBA, the ancestors blow the cell phone off the stand. I just wanted to point that out. I just wanted to point that out. Did y'all see what just happened, brothers and sisters? Did you see what just happened? I've been talking to y'all for how long? How long I've been talking to y'all just now? How long have I been talking to y'all just now? And soon when I mention the NBA as the first suspect in Kobe's death, my cell phone get blown off the stand. That's not proof. It's still debatable, but it's a good piece of evidence. Now, wait a minute. We're going to have a block party. Let me do a block. We're having a block party. Quick.
See, people were clowning him for saying this. Back then, he would do what he calls block parties. Who said that? Who said that? The case is now closed. That's wild.
2-minute block party. Hold on. Let's have a block party. Who bringing the chips? Who else coming to the block party? We having the block party. I'm bringing the music. I'm bringing the cake. Who else coming to the block party? Hold on, y'all. We having a quick little block party. Quick little block party.
Someone said, Lenon, weren't you homeless? No, I've never been homeless. Cut it out. Never been homeless in my life.
Okay. Only one person coming to the block party so far. All right. I thought I was going to have a few more people coming to the block party. All right. We only got one person at the block party. So, the NBA.
I still can't find. I can't find the video where Umar was on the monkey bars.
National Basketball Association is my first suspect. My second suspect is the pharmaceutical industry. The pharmaceutical industry. The pharmaceutical industry. The pharmaceutical industry is my second suspect. And my third and final suspect. And all of this can change based on the information. Investigations are a work in progress. It's like a psychological evaluation. I might think your son got a reading problem, but more information might show me that it's trauma. I might think your son got trauma. More information might show me it's an attachment problem. All investigations are works in progress. Suspect number 1, the National Basketball Association. Suspect number 2, the pharmaceutical industry. Suspect number 3. Who is Dr. Umar's third and final suspect?
Look, he's trying to think of something. He's trying to think of something right now. I never believed it before, but after his cell phone got blown off, no, but if you really think about that, I mean, it's ridiculous and it's funny. So let's go get that out the way. But on the other hand, for someone to go there, you know, to even who in the spur of the moment thinks of something like that? Because it's not like the phone gets blown off and then, you know, 5 days later he's thinking about it and says, I wonder why. It's because Mama Oya blew the phone off, and that's the evidence that the NBA assassinated Kobe Bryant. No. This is like in real time, within a matter of seconds. He just comes up with that off the top of his head. That's incredible to me. See, so on one hand, it shows delusion, that he's delusional, because that didn't have nothing to do with Mama Oya blowing the phone off. They ain't got nothing to do with that. But it also shows that he's a habitual liar. He can lie so easily. And here's the other thing, Iceman Vamp. One of the most fascinating things that I've noticed about Umar is that he can tell a lie in a second. Like after it just comes right out. It's amazing. I don't know how he has a skill set for that. It's so I don't understand how anyone can do that. But he can tell a lie and come up with a lie on the spot. But then something in his mind very quickly starts turning to where he starts to believe the lie that he told. That's incredible to me. That's where you get into the delusion part of this. So you got someone who's a habitual liar, but then is also delusional to the point where he'll tell a lie and then believe the lie shortly after the fact and then run with it. That's incredible. Yeah. But no, it didn't have anything with Mama Oya, okay? I'll say Mama. I'm sorry. Is it Mama Oya or is it O'Shea or something like that? I don't know. Thanks, Iceman Van, for the super chat. Okay, let's go. We gotta finish this up. We're already at 2 hours. Here we go.
In the Kobe Bryant assassination, the Rockefeller Council on Foreign Relations and Trilateral Commission.
Here we go. Conspiracy theory.
The Rockefeller Council on.
I used to be in all of this. The Rockefeller Foundation, the Trilateral Commission. That's the Council on Foreign Relations. There's so many other ones. It goes on and on. Bilderberg.
Foreign Relations and Trilateral Commission. Oh, yes. And I'm going to give you a little bit of rationale for why I believe this. I repeat my three. The NBA.
Okay.
The pharmaceutical company.
Okay.
And the Rockefeller Trilateral / CFR. The Rockefellers have the CFR. The CFR has the Trilaterals. Those are my.
Yeah, he's talking about the pyramids of power, the Illuminati pyramid of power, and David Icke was one of the people who used to present that type of information.
3 suspects. Let me explain why. They're all equally suspicious right now, and they could have colluded. They're all equally suspicious right now, and they could have colluded. They're all equally suspicious right now, and they could have colluded. The NBA, the pharmaceutical industry, and the Rockefeller CFR and Trilaterals.
I found a video where Umar was going at Michael Eric Dyson. I forgot about that one. Here he goes. You got to show his little prop. Now, he had to be quick with the lies as a kid because the corner boys would beat him up. I don't mean to laugh, but let me say something. I'm gonna tell y'all something, and it's true. Umar grew up based on what he said, and I believe him in this, that he grew up in poverty. I grew up in poverty too, and he grew up in some rough streets. I wouldn't say that I grew up in rough streets. I just had cousins and a lot of friends who were gangbangers, mainly East Side Pirate, that off of Skyline. And then the school that I went to was off of Skyline. So there was until it moved over to a new campus, they left all the gangbangers. They left them at the old school. I said, y'all ain't coming up over here. But I didn't go to that new school, didn't open up until I was in the 10th grade. So from 6th grade to 10th grade, a lot of my friends were gangbangers, drive-by shootings. A lot of them got killed and all kind of crazy shit. But I had cousins that was the East Side Pirate. And I used to interact with them all the time. I got to tell the story about one of my gangbanging cousins one time because it was so funny. But anyway, so this to say that I didn't grow up in the streets like that. I just grew up around it, if you guys catch my drift. The thing with Umar is that even though he grew up in poverty and it was an impoverished community, I'm sure there was all kind of crazy stuff going on. He don't have no street in him. That's not Umar. Now, he could be belligerent. He can yell and throw tantrums and scream. But in terms of in the street, if you drop Umar off into the street and he was dealing with like some real thugs, he wouldn't be able to handle it. He wouldn't be able to handle it. In fact, Umar has a disdain for people who we would classify as being thuggish, including a lot of my friends when I was growing up with and my cousins from back in the day. He has disdain. And that's why if you guys go back and look, I'm sure you remember, if you go back to that folk video, who was he targeting? The 10%. He was talking about the 10%, the thugs on the corner. Why would you specifically target them? Well, part of it is because he ain't got no street in him. See? And so in his adulthood, he still has resentment towards these individuals who would be classified as these thugs on the corner. Even though when I was growing up, a lot of my friends were thugs, relative thugs. So what? Even closer family members. We ain't gonna get into that right now. Out there, what we used to call it banging. They was out there banging. That's why some people, you got to be careful what you say, because we used to call it gang banging, but if you say that nowadays, people think it's something else. And you get my drill. I said, oh good Lord, that ain't what I'm talking about. Anyway, yeah, I have a sense that Umar, that he was the odd kid. You know, he wasn't like the person who was what's the word, popular or anything like that. And that's why I think in his adulthood, once and Tariq Nasheed talked about this, that part of Umar's problem was that once he started to get a little bit of fame, that it all went to his head, because and from my perspective, it makes sense, because as a child growing up in them streets, he wasn't the one. So once he started to get a little fame, it just all went to his head. And now all of a sudden he's Big Papa and I'm the most requested scholar and I got 6 degrees and blah, blah, blah. But really, he was just like, you know, what we would call like a marshmallow. That's what we used to call him, you know. And then he ended up going into to get degrees, and so he feels like he's better than everybody else. Listen, don't get it twisted. Umar had the mind to be able to pick up degrees. That's telling something. That's saying something. You see. But can you imagine Umar growing up in them streets? He wasn't the popular person. He wasn't the one that people was trying to be down with. He was probably the one that they used to whoop up on. He probably was. And then later on, he becomes a bully himself. Okay? All right. Thanks, Louis Luck. Remember, I don't know if you guys remember, this was back in the day. They used to have the saying, you got your lunch money? Where's your lunch money? All right, here we go.
Donate to the Frederick Douglass Marcus Garvey Academy.
Yeah. That's another thing we used to say back in the day, that he was a wannabe. Yeah, we used to say he was a mark. Was another term we used. He was a wannabe. He was a crab. That's what we used to say.
.me/$FDMG school. Cash.me/$FDMG school. Cash.me/$FDMG school. You ask me, why do I repeat certain comments certain times? Because as a mental scientist, I understand that which is repeated is remembered more often than that which is not. So when there's something very...
No. He does that now. It's I don't know what the term is. He can't help himself. He can't stop himself from doing it now. He didn't do it as much as he does these days, but these days it's autonomic. He can't stop himself from saying things 3 times.
Very important that I'm saying that I need to sink into your unconscious, your long-term memory. I have to repeat it. We also know that information that is presented more than 3 to 5 seconds has a higher likelihood of being encoded into your long-term memory, long-term storage. Remember, you're talking to the greatest black psychologist of the 21st century. Put some respect on my name.
On my name.
You're talking to the greatest Pan Africanist of the 21st century. Put some respect on my name. You're talking to the greatest.
That's what he was saying. I think that wasn't even Michael Dyson. It was somebody else. I can't remember his name right now.
Black school psychologist, Pan Africanist, orator of the 21st century. I know we only 20 years in. We got 80 more to go, but so far I'm leading. I know we only self-proclaimed. We got a block party going on. Block party.
Yeah, we're almost done.
Anybody coming to the block party? Who bringing the music? Who bringing the chips? Who bringing the soda? I keep a block party going on. I keep a block party going on. I keep a block party going on. The reason I believe the NBA is suspicious is because Kobe Bryant was building a very strong business foundation in Red China. For the last couple of years, Kobe Bryant has
found the Jungle Gym video, I think. Let me check.
Has been building a very powerful business foundation in Red China. As you know, America can't stand China because China is the only country America cannot be in a straight-up war. America has been trying to destabilize China. That's why you got bird flu and all these other flus. They keep popping up on the Chinese people to disrupt the society in order to sabotage the Chinese economy. America can't stand China. The only reason why the NBA is over there having games is they're trying to use
What does that sound? I'm sorry. It's something sound like somebody banging on something, some drums or something.
The NBA as a velvet glove for the iron fist of white capitalism to try to get in and destroy from within. I said the reason the NBA is having games in China is because that is a front for the United States power structure so that they can get in and destroy from within. And the other reason why the NBA is having games in China is because Kobe Bryant was having talks about starting a league in China, an international league.
Yeah. This clown said Red China, Sumerian. Yeah, Didi. How's it going, Didi? I'm sorry, people. I've been doing other stuff, trying to find these other videos. I ain't been giving shout outs inside of the chat room. Yeah, they don't go along with his delusion. He blocks them. Yeah, that happens. I found the Jungle Gym video. I shouldn't call it that, but let me do this. I'm gonna find the timestamp on it where he starts going crazy, and then I'll pull it up real quick, and then we'll close out the show. We only got like maybe 3 minutes on this one. Thank y'all so much. Everyone start Cook Chris chat. Thank you so much. I was gonna live stream a little bit later, but I may pre-record some videos for members and just put those up later. Don't hold me to it, but for sure I'll be back tomorrow to live stream. I'm thinking about taking this weekend off too. When I tell y'all I haven't been sleeping right, I can't even remember the last time I slept 8 straight hours. You know, and it shows in my face. I can tell. You know, so I really need to just settle down and get me some a good night's sleep. Just 1 or 2 nights straight. That's what I really need. Oh, you're so welcome. You're so welcome. Yeah, everyone. Thank y'all so much. Everyone in Cook Chris chat too for tuning on in. My plan is because my children are going back to school. My work schedule has changed a bit. The children are going to be going back to school, so I'll have more time to be able to live stream, and I'll be live streaming during the day more, and then on different topics too. I still got to do the Jay Morrison thing. I got to do the Kamala Harris thing. I'm also thinking about doing a show to talk politics, although I've gotten not a lot, but I've had like maybe 4 or 5 people. They've messaged me and they were talking all kind of mess. They're just so rude. Just so rude. And there's other stuff too that I would like to do. I'm always saying I want to do stuff, but it's just a matter of time for me. I got so much other stuff going on. But I do appreciate y'all. Thanks everyone inside the Cook Chris chat for being here. So let's do this. Let's finish this one up, and then I'm gonna find the timestamp, and I can show you the here. This is it right here. This is the video. Umar is a trip. Let me just show you the video, and then I'm gonna find the timestamp. This is how it starts, like this. You see back behind him? You know what? I don't think this is it. We're going to find out. I'll find out for sure. Hold on. So let's go back to this. Here we go.
In China. Do you know how much money the NBA would stand to lose if Kobe Bryant starts his own league and is based in China? Problem with you jackasses is you don't read anything. Problem with you jackasses is if it's not on TMZ, you don't pay attention to it. That's right. Kobe Bryant, one man, was more popular in the most populated country in the world than the entire NBA and all its teams put together. Kobe Bryant was a god in China. Kobe.
Yes, but there is no evidence, and I've yet to see any evidence that Kobe Bryant was planning on opening up and starting a basketball league headquartered in China. I have not seen it. If anyone has seen it, please let me know. All right. Anyone in the chat room, or if you see it at some point, just come back and correct me. But I did not see it at all.
Bryant was a god in China. Now I want you to add to the fact that Kobe Bryant was a god in China. Add that to the fact that he probably has a chip on his shoulder anyway for being robbed of at least 2 MVPs.
So that's the reason why they assassinated him? And was he really, not that it matters, but was he really robbed of 2 MVPs? No, I don't think so. The only person I can, in recent memory, I can say, dang, they were really robbed is Shaq. They gave it to Steve Nash. Even back then, I was like, what in the world? Kobe has 1 regular season MVP, but you guys got to look at that time period. There was some great basketball players playing. And also remember that for Kobe's early career, he wasn't even the best player on his team. So how's he going to win MVP? And then the fact that you have one of the greatest centers in NBA history on your team, it also detracts from the potential of getting an MVP. See, normally you will, for MVPs, it's usually like the really big star on that team. In a lot of cases, because you have a team where you have two superstars, and in some cases, three superstars, excuse me, it's more difficult for one of those three superstars to get an MVP. It's not as difficult for two superstars on the same team to get it. For one of the superstars on a team where there's two superstars to get an MVP. It's more likely that if there's only one superstar on that team and you're doing absolutely phenomenal for that year, that you're going to get an MVP. I hope that makes sense. I kind of messed that up. All right, but I don't see. Anyway, not that it matters, but I'm a basketball fan. Umar, you just making up. Anyway, let's go.
Add that to the fact that he probably had a chip on his shoulder anyway because he was robbed of at least 2 MVPs. Add that to the fact he probably had a chip on his shoulder because they keep on putting LeBron James above Kobe and who's the greatest of all time conversation.
Listen, he is above Kobe. Stop playing, Umar. Cut it out. And I love Kobe. Listen, he was one of my favorite players growing up.
I don't give a damn about no analytics. I don't give a damn about no analytics. And I love and support and respect LeBron James, but he cannot tie Kobe's shoestrings. No disrespect to King James. You are not on Kobe's level. No disrespect to King James. The only reason why they leave Kobe out of that conversation is because an alleged charge of sexual improprieties.
No, that's not why. Umar, cut it out. And for even you bringing it up, cut it out. Kobe Bryant won his MVP in 2008. The year prior was Dirk Nowitzki. The year prior to that, the 2 years prior to that was Steve Nash. But those two in 2006 and 2005, that should have gone to Shaq. The year prior to that was Kevin Garnett. The year prior to that was Tim Duncan. The year prior to that was Tim Duncan. What are you talking about, Umar? And then in 2008, Kobe wins the MVP. And after that, LeBron wins the MVP for 2 years straight. And then Derrick Rose wins an MVP. And then LeBron James wins 2 more MVPs. The competition was so high. So what do you, Umar, anyway?
That we're not going to get into. That's right. Kobe Bryant's business ventures posed a threat to the NBA's success. That's right. We have another block party going on. Hold on. We got a brother said he bringing the chips. Once you go buy them chips, come back on, my brother.
He said buy the chips.
The block party is always in full effect. The block party is always in full effect.
Okay, and it ends right there. Umar was mad. Okay, no, Kobe was robbed in 05-06 because they gave it to Steve. No, I wouldn't say that. I would say that Shaq was robbed. They gave it to Steve Nash, 8.8 points per game, 10.5 assists per games, and 4.2. Kobe that year was 35.4, 4.5, and 5.3. Yeah, but I don't even think that the Lakers did that well that year. I remember that was a year. Wasn't that after Shaq left, right? Let me see. Well, let's not get sidetracked. You know, K Diggy, I've been saying I was going to do a sports show. Maybe we can get together and you want to debate me? Email me if you want to debate me, okay? We can debate some Kobe stuff and see. You ain't going to win, my brother. You ain't going to win. Okay, to close out, let me do this. I want to pull up. I was going to look up something too. I just forgot what I was going to do. But I want to just show this to everyone to close out. This is the video I was referring to earlier. I'll pull it up right here.
We will be in Washington, D.C., February the 8th, White Plains, New York, February the 29th, Oklahoma City, March the 20th.
Yeah, I think that's when it was the oblique, wasn't it? He pulled his oblique muscle or calf. I thought it was the oblique muscle. Anyway.
First, Ocean Springs, Mississippi, April the 18th, Cleveland, Ohio.
Yeah, I'll have to go look.
We got
look real quick.
Indianapolis, Indiana. Let me read them to y'all because I can't remember them all.
Oh yeah, you're right. You're right. Because I remember now. I remember Shaq was out, and they kept and Kobe had to just pick up the scoring. Yeah, I remember that now. I remember that. I don't think they did well that
New
year.
Orleans, February 1st. Washington, February the 8th. White Plains, February 29th. Los Angeles, March the 7th. Oklahoma City, March the 21st. Flint, Michigan, March the 28th. Hamden, Connecticut, April 11th. Mississippi, Ocean Springs, April the 18th. Dallas, Texas, May the 2nd. Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, June the 6th. Minneapolis, Minnesota, June.
Okay, by the way, I just received some information. I haven't verified it, but they said that they called the city of Wilmington and they got to the right department. And the guy that they talked to stated that the city did not put the fencing or window screens up at the school address. I don't want to read the school. Well, I can. 610 East 17th Street. And then they said they made sure that he was the man to talk to in regards to this question. So probably Umar did it, not the city. And then they provide the phone number to call to who here. I won't actually put it up there. Now, I haven't verified this at all. So I'm just reporting that because it just came across my desk, hot across my desk. All right, here we go.
The 27th, Indianapolis, Indiana, August the 15th, Sanford, Florida, September the 5th, Chicago, Illinois, September the 12th. Get your tickets at DrUmarJohnson.com. It's not coming to Detroit, J. Ogun. You got to go to Flint. It's not coming to Detroit, J. Ogun. You got to go to Flint. One training in each state. One training in each state. And the deadline is Saturday. So it looks like we're only going to have 12 trainings. So you're going to have to go.
Okay, this was 2005 to 2006. Let me go
to another state if you don't live in one of those 12 states I just read. It looks like we're only going to have 12 trainings, so you're going to have to go to another state if you don't live in one of the states that I just read.
Yeah, that year their record was only 45 and 37, so it would be very difficult for someone, even if they're putting up 35 points a game, for them to get an MVP. 45 and 37. I'll look and see where they finished in the West.
Make sure y'all donate to the Frederick Douglass Marcus Garvey Academy. Get on your Cash app. Cash.me/$FDMG school. Cash.
Yeah, it looks like they lost in the Western Conference first round against the Phoenix Suns. Yeah, I actually remember this now. Yeah, I remember this. Yeah.
Me/$FDMG school. Cash.me/$FDMG school, or mail it in. P.O. Box 9634 Wilmington, Delaware. 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 Mail that donation in. Mail it in, because we're going to create a whole new world for black boys. P.O. Box 9634 Wilmington, Delaware, 19809. Get your donations in. Donate every payday. Donate every day.
Donate every payday. Donate every day. Yeah, and I was right earlier. Shaq was gone by now. Yeah, someone said Kwame Brown was on the team. Yeah, I remember when all this happened. By then, Andrew Bynum was on the team. Yeah, Shaq had already gone. He was over in down in Florida. He was for the Miami Heat. Yeah, they had Smush Parker. Yeah, Kobe did not like Smush Parker. Anyway,
donate every month. Can you repeat the states? Go to the website, brother. Rusty, go to the website, brother. All the states are there. Go to the website.
What's up,
DrUmarJohnson.com. Go to the website. I'm going to take a few questions.
Yeah, you could argue that. That's a strong argument. Yeah, that he was more skilled than LeBron. Yeah. It could be argued.
Then I got to be on my way. Got a lot of work to do to get ready for New Orleans. Tap in if you have a question. Decline.
Okay, I just wanted to show you him getting on them jungle gyms. Is that what that's called? I don't remember. Jungle gyms or something like that. Monkey bars? I can't remember what it was called. Kids these days, they don't know what that is. Thank y'all so much for tuning on in. I was thinking about live streaming later on, but I think what I'll do is I'll settle down. I'm going to have me something to eat. My wife made beans last night, so I'm going to make me some burritos and then eat and then settle down. And I'll probably do some videos for members. And I still got to get to making a decision on whether or not to do a show on politics. And again, it would just be seasonal. It would go to the presidential elections. And after that, I would close that out. And there's other stuff I want to do, too. But I want to thank everyone. Is it monkey bars? I know one thing I can say is that his footwork was one thing that's underrated about Kobe was his footwork. You know, one of the things I think that people don't realize about Kobe though too is that one of his weaknesses was the 3-point shot. Even though people kind of assumed that he was a 3-point shooter, you guys go look at his percentages, like they're Russell Westbrook like. You can go and look it up. That's one of his weaknesses. Defense, one of the best defensive shooting guards probably of all time. Michael Jordan would be the greatest of all time. Yeah, Kobe was a great basketball player, and he maxed out. He got the best out of what he had been gifted with. He really did, and his work ethic was extreme. Like I said, this show, it's really my way of just kind of dealing with the whole Kobe Bryant tragedy and the fact that Umar has used it in this way. And then 2 days ago, he represents this idea, this conspiracy theory that Kobe Bryant was assassinated with no proof. And then over the last couple of years, he's been taking shots at Vanessa Bryant, Kobe Bryant's wife, and that she's a widow, you know, and then she still has other daughters that she's raising. Umar, what kind of man are you? Have you no respect for anyone else? Have you no shame? I don't think you do. It's deplorable. And for you to bring this up again, I don't understand it. I'm probably never going to understand why you did this 2 days ago. But it has to stop. You know, your foolishness needs to stop. And what you need to do is you need to get off the internet and you need to go and get the mental health services that you need to get your mind right so that you can go through the process of getting your life right. That's on you, bro. You can't blame anybody else on that. That's on you. All right. Thank you all so much. Everyone inside the Cook Course chat, thank you for tuning on in. I hope you enjoyed the show. If you did like the show, make sure you hit the like button. I also want to thank everyone who sent in super chats during the live stream. If you sent in Cash Apps or PayPal, thank you so much. My Cash App information and PayPal information is listed down below in the description of this video. Thanks to the mods for handling business too. And I hope that everyone enjoys the rest of your day. I'll be talking with y'all very, very soon. More than likely, I'll be back on live streaming tomorrow, hopefully on a different topic. My goodness. All right. Love y'all. Take care. Peace.